I didn't.
Third base, 15, Haley Carter. Behind the plate catcher, number 7, Amia Hasso. Center fielder, number 19, Trinity Lunsford. Designated player, 22, Taboli Martinez. Over at second base, number 3, Kaylin Rodriguez. Out in left field, number 9, Ella DeLuna. And the flex player in the circle, number 13, Talia Reyes. And the subs for the Panthers. Next we have the starting lineup for the Weslaco Lady Panthers. Leading off, the center fielder, number 1, Lola Reyes. At second base, number 34, Mia Rodriguez. Designated player, number 20, Hannah Montelongo. Over at first base, number 8, Elizabeth Craig. Behind the plate catcher, number 22, Romy Nunez. Shortstop, number 5, Lexi Escamilla. Left fielder, number 3, Dela Generosa. And the flex player for the Lady Panthers, pitching number 27, Madeline Cantu. And the subs for the Lady Panthers.
And good evening and welcome. We are live from Robstown, Texas, from the local high school. It's a KWES production on YouTube of UIL Texas State Championship softball action. We are in the third round, and it is the Weslaco Lady Panthers representing 32-6A against the San Antonio Connor Lady Panthers representing 29-6A. And remember, this is the third round. It is a best-of-3 series. Game 1 was last night. The designated home team was O'Connor. They won 5-4. So today, Weslaco will be the designated team, and they need to win tonight in order to have a Game 3 tomorrow, scheduled starting time 2 o'clock. I know there's a lot of weather problems out there, but we'll worry about that later. Right now, we want to bring in my friend and co-worker Mike Gonzalez. I'm Scott Harrison. Mike, it's good to have you aboard. And what does Weslaco really have to do tonight to try to get back in there? I know they need some better breaks.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was something that the coaches talked about actually after the game and even this morning. It's just we need to get that big hit. They had opportunities yesterday, and they got off to a great start. But just unfortunately weren't able to get that hit. And, you know, they had some bad breaks in between. You know, if you remember the bouncer that hit off the player for interference. And then the baseman also made a spectacular catch. But they got to make it count now. Little room for error. We got to find a way to win tonight and come back tomorrow.
Megan Lowe, her first year with O'Connor, the defending state 6A champions. And, of course, Mario Rodriguez, been there 17 years for Weslaco. His daughter Mia plays on the team and starting tonight. And let's get things started, speaking of that. And first batter for, again, the designated road team tonight, they are in the first base dugout, is going to be Savannah Pope. Now, her name is spelled like Pop, P-O-P-P, but it's pronounced Pope. She's the right fielder, a sophomore, wears number 10, and a very dangerous player.
Yeah, yesterday was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs as the leadoff hitter. Came into the series batting .425 with no home runs and 6 RBIs. And, yeah, she was a tough cookie yesterday, that's for sure.
And, of course, Madeline Cantu, a star freshman pitcher. And the first pitch of the game is going to be an out. It is a pop out to shortstop, Lexi Escamilla. So that's a good start for Weslaco. Pops out to the shortstop.
Yeah, you see Lexi Escamilla playing in there with perfect position there, and Popa was trying to just slap it, past her at shortstop, but Escamilla with a terrific catch. And we know Escamilla, the only senior in this team, she does not want this to be the last game.
No. Madeline Cantu, again, the flex player, the pitcher. She has done most of the pitching for Weslaco, a freshman, as we mentioned, and she will be facing a very dangerous player, a player that last year was the catcher and now has moved to shortstop, and we are talking about Miko Dominguez. She's a sophomore, number 14.
1 for 3 last night with an RBI, came into the series leading the team, tied for leading the team with 3 home runs with had 3 home runs with a .484 batting average and 26 RBIs.
And she now takes over the shortstop spot that Leanne Good had last year. If that name sounds familiar, she is now over with the Texas Longhorns, having an outstanding year as a freshman. But again, we talked to Dominguez about the fact of switching position. We mentioned it yesterday. She still says she's adapting, but she sure looked good out there, even on defense. Saw a good defensive player, too, yesterday. This time, another grounder, this one to short. And it is going to be a stretch by Elizabeth Craig, trying to make the out. Really did the splits that time, but couldn't quite get the ball or the foot down, whatever, fast enough, and it is a infield single. Good throw by Lexi, and good try to get the runner, but the runner was just a little too quick.
Yeah, you saw Craig there kind of splitting her leg. Again, we saw something similar to that yesterday. A great effort there. You see Coach Rodriguez come out to talk to the umpire. Plays like that, those little things, are going to be very big tonight, who's going to get the breaks on plays like that. And so far, O'Connor got that first break there, getting the runner called safe there, the hitter. And so Dominguez is on with that infield single. But, yeah, Escamilla's pretty busy already to start the game.
Yeah, two chances there. One a pop out she got, one almost threw the runner out. And big news here today, Talia Reyes will be pitching for the team, the designated, again, road team. We'll talk more about that. Foul ball. And up right now is Andrea Ortiz, the right fielder, number 11, a freshman. In the postseason, we've seen her lead off. We've seen her bat number 9. But again, this time, I apologize, Emily Fish up. We have the junior number 18, Emily Fish. Again, when they switch from being home to road, it gets confusing. But Emily Fish, the first baseman, up. And but we are correct what we were saying about Ortiz.
But that's the reason why we're sitting right behind home plate, because we'll catch the little mistakes that we make. We are human, and sometimes we'll get a number wrong or a name wrong.
But we'll
catch it right away.
We have good reaction, good reflexes. No, but all joking aside, Fish is a pretty good player, isn't she?
Oh, very dangerous hitter. She's the other player that came into the series with 3 home runs. And also has a .425 batting average with 6 doubles, 5 triples. Last night was 1 for 3 single and scored a run.
Yep, Emily, again, good player. One thing about this team, we mentioned they were the defending state champions, 1 and 2 count. They have 3 starters back from last year. 7 are gone, but 3 are back. So, again, very good lineup here.
And Fish was the reason why the inning stayed alive for O'Connor, because there was 2 outs, 2 up, 2 down. And she got that single and eventually scored. Well, she was 1 of 2 runs to score in that first inning to tie the game.
Romy Nunez catching, as she has since the injury to a very good player, Clarissa Mejia. But I understand she was in attendance yesterday. She's not traveling with the team. She got injured against Eagle Pass. She is out for this series. But again, it was good to see that she was here yesterday. And that is going to be a strikeout. So Fish is the second out of the inning on a strikeout. You got to like that from Cantu.
Absolutely. I love what I see so far from Cantu, ahead of the count in the first 3 hitters of the game. Yesterday, Scott, I found out she only threw 85 pitches
Wow.
in 7 innings. That's an excellent
Yes.
number, especially considering if we're going to a third game, you want that arm fresh. Last week against Eagle Pass, she had over 200 pitches after 2 games.
Wow. All right, now we have Amia Asso up a catcher. She's a sophomore. Number 7, got to talk to her dad, right? Sorry.
Haley Carter is
Oh,
the
Haley
one
Carter?
up to that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Haley up there. So switch in the order. Haley Carter's up at junior, number 15, third baseman. Haley's one of those returning players from last year. And that is going to be popped up, out of play. Carter is back. And again, she's also a dangerous hitter.
She was one of 5 players that went 1 for 3 yesterday. We talked about a fish that went 1 for 3. Carter was another. She hit a double and drove in 2 runs, so she was credited with 2 RBIs. She's the reason why the game was tied after the first inning. Only a junior.
And here's the windup and the pitch.
Try to get the outside corner. A very good pitch.
Right.
Almost maybe a few inches outside there.
By the way, the umpiring crew, 2 from the Valley and 2 from San Antonio, just like when we had the series against Eagle Pass. Winds 10 miles an hour, they say, but gusting, we know, near 20. And there is a bouncer to third, throw to first, and that is an out. A nice job that time by Alexis Solis getting it over to Elizabeth Craig for the third out of the inning. So in the inning, we have 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and 1 left on base. We've played 1/2 inning, no score between the Lady Panthers of Weslaco and the Lady Panthers that are here from San Antonio O'Connor. Well, Mike, again, a good start, I think, to see for Weslaco. You didn't know maybe how they'd come out. You know, tough loss yesterday, but it looks like they've shaken that off. Yeah,
and what I really like is they were able to overcome that base runner that reached on that close play to first. We saw O'Connor yesterday take advantage of their opportunities there. This time they were able to get that third out and leave that runner stranded at first base. Now, O'Connor, last year they won the state championship, but it was a different head coach, all right? Coach Boyer was the head coach last year. She is now transferred, retired from coaching. She's in an administrative situation with the school system. Also, a couple of the assistants left. I think one had a background with San Benito. Not sure about all of that, but people that may know her may know what I'm talking about. And she's got a head coaching job. And, of course, that brought in 3 new coaches. And talking with their head coach, she was a lot of fun. We appreciate how nice she has been to us. And talking to Megan Lowe, she actually was a player, and she played, I think, catcher and first base. And I think when she was in college, at UTSA, one year she hit 22 home runs. I wasn't sure if it was college or high school she was talking about. It might have been high school. Okay, high school. Very impressive. Yeah, whatever level. Whatever level. Yeah, that's a great number. All right, and again, I think the leader nationally that year was 25 home runs. So we are going to begin the bottom of the first inning. And a change, at least as far as I've seen during the playoffs. I know you covered the first round also, the bi-district with Joe when you did the games. Lola Reyes usually bats second, but the sophomore, Kat's younger sister, number 1, the center fielder, is leading off, the slap hitter. And you see the third baseman already creeping in. We saw last week at Eagle Pass the second baseman stand next to the circle. This time we see the third baseman creeping in. Yeah. Well, we've got Reyes pitching. She only faced 2 hitters yesterday, and the second one was Reyes. Reyes got on, and that was it for Reyes. Now another slap attempt to short. Fast throw, but Lola's too fast, and the first baseman couldn't even hold on to it. A very, very hard throw from short to first. First baseman couldn't handle it, but it would have been safe anyhow. So Lola, who had 4 hits against Eagle Pass and 2 RBIs in that deciding third game in the area round, starts off with a first base hit. A nice job there. And, of course, Carter, the third baseman, was trying to get it to Fish. Didn't work out. That brings up Alexis Solis. I believe she led off yesterday. The third baseman, junior number 4. And she was 1 for 4 with a single and got credited for a stolen base. We see a bumped attempt there. 8 for 19 in the playoffs with no homers, 3 RBIs, and has a triple.
It is overcast temperature, very pleasant. I think it's about 80 degrees right now. It was in the 90s when we started yesterday.
Very
overcast,
hot.
right?
Yeah.
But I believe rain will hold off until at least about 10 o'clock. And local time a little bit after 6. So we're hoping for that, and then we'll just have to see. We have a third game, a lot of rain in the forecast. That also affects the Weslaco boys. They have to go play San Antonio O'Connor in San Antonio tomorrow, and that'll be a big game. Weslaco boys won last night in Weslaco in baseball. They lead the best-of-3 series 1-0, and they'll play a game tomorrow. Should O'Connor win, 30 minutes later will be the deciding third game if the weather allows it. All right.
And the count is 3-0 that we had the umpire turn around and let the PA announcer know. We had it at 1-1, but the correct call is 3 balls now and 2 strikes. So an opportunity here for Solis with a runner at first.
And Reyes struggled yesterday, struggling now. First 2 batters get on, one on a base hit, Solis on a walk. And Reyes, we thought she might have got injured yesterday, maybe pulled a muscle, but apparently she just didn't feel, and her coach didn't feel that she had it yesterday.
Yeah,
so after 2 batters, she came out, and
so in
Tivoli and Martinez came in.
Right, and we already have Coach Lowe come out here, so let's see here after 2 hitters if we're going to have another change again or just like a conference.
Well, she made a change after the second batter yesterday, and there was one on at that point. There was an out. Solis had an out to begin the game, and then Reyes got on, and then the pitching change, and Tiv, we call her, Tiv Martinez came in. Today she's the designated player, and again we see Megan Lowe, that is their head coach, her first year. She's been around a number of assistant jobs, but this is her first high school head coaching job, though for a while, I think 1 year, for a while she was out at a junior college near Abilene called Ranger.
So the resume is very strong.
Yeah.
So I think O'Connor's in good hands.
Yes.
With Coach Lowe.
Andrea Ortiz up, the right fielder, a freshman, number 11, and she's had 4 home runs this year, and that was during district action, I believe, and it was 4 straight games.
And she's 4 for 20 in the playoffs with no homers, 2 RBIs, has a triple and a double. Last night was 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored.
And among our guests here today, that's a strike, is the athletic coordinator at Weslaco, our buddy, head coach of the Weslaco Panthers football team, Roy Stroman. Glad to see him out here today.
We had a chance to talk with him briefly and was at the baseball game last night, as you mentioned. And I asked him about it, and he just said, it was very, very excited. It was a very exciting game. You have the runner going?
Yeah, runner going to third, and the throw is off the mark. So a stolen base for Reyes, and then Solis will advance to second on the throw. Runners in scoring position, second and third with no outs. And again, Ortiz at the plate.
And we see the third baseman and the shortstop there talking to each other, because now the communication is going to needs to be strong here. We know the Lady Panthers, what they're like with base runners on and a hitter like Ortiz.
Here's the pitch. And this pitcher out there, she had a real good record, I think, like 16 wins, and she had I think about 160 strikeouts, something like that.
16-1 with a 1.02 ERA.
Yeah.
162 strikeouts and only walked 15 coming into the series. So you got to give credit to Solis for.
And that is going to be foul, left field. And I guess looking at the winds, just like last night, the ball or the hitters that hit toward left will be favored, right? Wind blowing that way.
And on deck, Mia Rodriguez encouraging the young freshman Ortiz there. I think everybody's a little pumped up here.
Yes.
A little sense of urgency.
Yes. And that's going to be popped up. Going to be foul. Out of play.
So we talk about the pitchers of O'Connor, that they don't throw a whole lot of fastballs there. They kind of move the ball around a lot there. And so we saw the Lady Panthers kind of get in front of some of those pitches there. So I know that's going to be an adjustment here in game 2.
No, curveballs are a big thing. Movement's a big thing for the pitching staff here. And Reyes also known with her pitching with a riser. I wanted to look up my notes. She also is good with the riser. So it is now a 2-2 count. Meanwhile, Martinez yesterday also was good with the drop ball. That's one of her specialties. Here is the pitch. Low. So it's a full count, 3-2.
So
and the
great.
backs could be jammed in a minute.
Yeah, great eye by Solis earlier, and now great eye by Ortiz, fighting the count there, and now has it a full count.
3-2. Again, no outs, no score, bottom of the first. And that's going to be a grounder to first. Runners will hold. And the third baseman was so scared of the runner coming in, never threw the ball to first. So the runner gets on. Would that be a fielder's choice?
That is an interesting call, Scott.
Yeah.
But you know what that was?
I'll give it a hit for now, but I'm not sure about that.
If I could spell it, you know what I would put,
What's
actually? Respect.
All right.
You
yeah,
saw what
I
the
know.
third baseman
You
did?
know, I
She
know.
thought that Lola Reyes was
Yeah,
going to
you're
come
right.
home.
You're
And I
right.
think under normal circumstances, she might have tried to come to home plate. But what discipline there
Right.
by Lola Reyes.
Yeah.
Staying at her bag there. And then, again, the speed. The speed
Right.
of Ortiz.
So Carter
making it to first base.
Carter did not throw it, and again, Ortiz on first base. For now, we'll give it a hit. But
Sure.
We may have to change that later to maybe a fielder's choice. So Mia is coming up now. Mia Rodriguez, number 34, junior, second baseman.
And she's heating up.
Yes.
2 for 2 yesterday
Right.
with a double, a single, and a walk.
Well, we knew that would happen.
Sure.
She had to struggle a little bit earlier in the playoffs, but we kept talking about it. It was just going to be a matter of time. And her time has come, and we'll see what she does now. Remember, no room for error. A walk is as good as a hit to bring in a run. Ball one. She played outfield early in her career. She has started since she was a freshman. Had a big game-winning hit against Weslaco East at Weslaco in a non-district game as a freshman, a game I did. That's going to be a called strike, 1-1.
Last night, the Lady Panthers did have the bases loaded and nobody out. Came away with 1 run. Let's see if they can punch a few more than that.
That was key.
That was key.
That's going to be low. 2-1. So you have to wonder if Reyes is just going to have to really just come in with the ball. She can't afford to walk her. Nowhere to put her. And that might get Mia a pretty good pitch to hit. Mia's got power. Well, she got about 8 home runs this year. That's to third. Now this time there will be the force at first. Now, at home, then over to first and a double play. So that is going to go 5-2-1 to double play.
Yeah.
Mia Rodriguez hitting into a double play, and again, Lola was out going to home. That would have been 5-2, and then Mia out in the double play.
So we
That would
saw,
have been, I'm sorry, 2-3.
right.
Go ahead.
So Haley Carter at that time didn't have to worry about looking at the runner at third.
Yeah.
She immediately threw at home,
Right.
and started that double play there.
Good job.
And that led to the first out, and then now the throw to first was the second out there. So great defense there by O'Connor.
Still have runners at second and third. Solis and Ortiz. Hannah Montalongo is up, the DP, a freshman, number 20. She's gotten a little playing time lately, hasn't she?
Has come in as a courtesy runner throughout the playoffs. I believe she's had a few at-bats as well in the playoffs.
So
But, in a crucial situation here in the first inning with an opportunity.
1-1 the count. And that is going to go into the outfield. A hit into the outfield, and there's going to be 2 runs scoring. Wow. What a time for Hannah to come through. A 2-run hit, 2 RBIs for Hannah, and now Weslaco takes a 2-0 lead. C&I single right into center field.
Just when we thought O'Connor perhaps was going to get out of this inning,
Yes.
a young freshman delivers there for the first runs of the game. And if you remember yesterday, we talked about it earlier, where there was a hit, and it hit one of the Lady Panthers players there. And Andrea Ortiz really had to kind of get out of the way there. I thought for a second it was going to hit her there, but it didn't. Fortunately, went to center field. And we also talked about how much room there is.
Elizabeth Craig at bat, and she is going to have a single now to center field, and she's going to try to get a double, and she will. They try to have a play at the plate, but the ball actually went over the catcher's head, and scoring easily that time is Montalongo. So give Craig an RBI, and she advances to second on the throw. Give her a single and advances to second on the throw.
First pitch.
Right.
And Craig wasted no time there. I mean, she came in leading the team with 8 RBIs in the playoffs. That's RBI number 9 now in the playoffs. And now Coach Lowe has come in for the second time.
Right. And we'll see if she makes a pitching change and puts Tiv Martinez in. Again, 3-0 is the score. Still just 2 outs.
And you notice, Scott, in that swing, how patient Craig was.
Yeah.
She anticipated, you know, it wasn't going to be a fastball there, and just really took advantage of it and hit it to center field.
So, 22, the catcher, Romy Nunez, is in. When Mejia got injured, she kind of took over the catching role again. She's played first base, DP, done a lot of different things.
Versatile, very
versatile.
Versatile player, and has done very well in the playoffs. 6 out of 16 with no homers, 2 RBIs with 2 triples. Last night was 0 for 1, but walked twice.
First pitch popped up, and it's going to go to short, and that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. So F6 on that one. And in the inning, we had 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We've played 1 complete. It is the Lady Panthers of Weslaco over the Lady Panthers of O'Connor, 3-0. This is a KWES production. Now, Mike, I got to say this, all right? And I talked to the coaches about this. You know, we saw a freshman come through, right, in the last half inning, Montelongo. They watched a video this afternoon. It was Alabama in a College World Series game against, I'm not sure who, but it doesn't matter exactly for this example. But they put a freshman in over a very, very experienced senior.
As a pinch hitter.
As a pinch hitter with the bags loaded. And that freshman came up and hit a grand slam home run. And the purpose of this was to show that everybody contributes. Everybody's got to cheer on anybody else that comes in. The senior, we saw a little bit of the video. She was cheering on that freshman saying, go. And when she came in, she was as happy as if she hit the grand slam herself. And they watched this video, and what do we see? The first time at bat, we see the freshman come through with a monster hit. Is it a coincidence? You tell me, Mike.
Well, I mean, it was a freshman that came through with that big hit. So I think that video did something to the players. You know, there's a sense of urgency. I mean, we had the leadoff hitter start off with a base hit. We had the first 3 hitters reach base, and then so they've come through.
And I gotta give credit right now to our staff that's here with us. Val Zamora, our videographer, and Adrian De Leon. They're having some trouble with the video player. They need a cord. Guess what? These guys came through. So I guess they win today. They need to be honorary players, those 2, right?
Absolutely. 100% agree.
All right. We are now going to the top of the 2nd inning. And Amia Hasso, the catcher, is up, number 7, just a sophomore. And first pitch hitting is going to be foul, and none of the players can get it. 3 converging down on the right field line. You like to hustle. Always hustling for sure.
Yeah, a lot of room out there.
Yeah.
In the foul territory. But Hasso,
just like last week.
Right.
In Jordanton.
In Jordanton. So Hasso was 1 for 2 last night. Had a single, drew a walk, and scored 1 run there. And you mentioned only a sophomore.
Yeah.
Does have 1 home run this year.
Right. And, you know, I talked to her dad. Said she's very confident behind the plate, likes to be a leader. Met her dad. It was a pleasure talking to him for a while. And that's going to be a ball, 1-1.
Something that I talked about in the Eagle Pass series is Madeline Cantu. It's important for her to have run support here. So the Lady Panthers putting a 3 spot here in the first inning has to give Madeline a lot of confidence. I mean, to me, she's already playing with a lot of confidence.
Oh, yes. Well, you know, she came out. I watched her. When they always pump fists with the umpires when they're introduced. And she came out, of course she does that. She's friendly, but she's all business. The look on her face was, I'm going to do this to the umpires, but I'm going to get out of the mound and take care of business.
She's the first one to come out on the field and gets into the circle and is ready to go.
2-2.
And once again, I was talking to some of the coaches in the morning and the trainers there. We were talking about Madeline. Just, it's so difficult to get anything out of her. She's just so poised, so quiet, and even Coach Lowe spoke very highly of her. when we asked her what she thought about Madeline as an opponent.
Good point.
And, that was one of the things she said, just how confident she is and just her demeanor and her poise. And she feels like she's going to have a great career in the high school level.
2-2.
And she's just like Katia.
Yeah,
she's
Katia's here, by the way. Katia Reyes was here last night. She's here today. Goes to McLennan Junior College. And there is going to be a play, 6-3, I believe. Yes, it's an out. Elizabeth Craig had to reach for it, but got it after the throw from Lexi Escamilla. So, that is the first out.
We talked about the nice target that they have in Craig at first base, and we were wondering how tall is she, and so I got a confirmation from her personally that she's 5'10". Her mom said 5'11".
Okay.
So let's go with 5'10".
Would it be 5'11" with heels?
Yeah, good point. That's a very, very good point. But we saw her make some plays in reaching her glove up high, and now we've seen her do the split a few times there.
Trinity Lunsford is up. She's one of the returning stars, I believe, from last year. That is going to be fouled back. And actually the returning starters from last year from the championship team are Haley Carter, Trinity Lunsford, and Miko Dominguez, although last year Dominguez played catcher.
Right.
Not shortstop.
And only a sophomore. It was 1 for 3 last night with a single and did score a run. Does have 2 home runs this year.
1 out. That is going to be a little liner straight to the glove of the third baseman. Soft liner, easy out. So we now have 2 outs and good positioning out there by Alexis Solis.
Yeah, and we talked about the pitch count here. I mean, I'm not keeping track of pitch count, but it has to be pretty low.
Yes.
So that's very, very good news there. And one of the things that Coach Hinojosa pointed out to me is that O'Connor is very aggressive at the plate there. So they really attack the pitcher there, but it could go either way. I mean, sometimes it goes against you because the pitcher stays fresh.
All right, this is a young lady we've seen for the first time at the plate, though she pitched most of the game yesterday. She got the win. Tiv Martinez, the DP, junior, wears number 22. Again, just pitched yesterday and was a flex player when she came in and took over for Reyes for the third batter of the game and went the rest of the way. Let's see how Reyes does at the plate. Big swing. 0-2 the count.
And she got credited for the win yesterday because of her relief appearance. And did a really good job. Coach Lowe was very proud of her for filling in that circumstance and finishing the game.
And she actually got credit for the win against Los Fresnos. And that is going to be a strikeout. We'll talk about that in a minute. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We've played an inning and a half, and Weslaco leads O'Connor 3-0 here in the third round, second game. We are in Robstown, Texas. This is a KWES production. Now, Mike, what I was about to say before we ended the half inning was the fact that in the area round, it was just a one-game playoff between Los Fresnos and O'Connor. Los Fresnos won the toss of the coin, and because they were playing a team with maybe more depth in pitching and things like that, they thought they'd have the best chance just going one game against them, and hey, they just about did. It took O'Connor having to score 4 runs, I believe, in the 6th and 3 in the 7th to come away with a 7-6 win. Tiv, she got the win. Reyes got the save, but they used both those pitchers, I think, over 3 innings each. They kind of split that game. A little background about their area playoff game, and of course, they also won the by-district round and did a good job there. And they won both games 10-0 and 7-0 over Laredo Alexander. Of course, Mike, you were at the by-district games against PSJA for the Panthers, and they had big wins 12-5 and 15-5 before in the last round, winning the first game 5-4, then losing the second game 8-2, but taking the best-of-3 series against Eagle Pass 4-2.
And we've seen historically that the Lady Panthers of Weslaco play very well when they face adversity. So, we still got a long way to go, but I like what I saw in the first inning.
Lexi Escamilla, the only senior And I saw a video of her on senior night. I think maybe you edited it. They showered her with gifts. I think she even had a sash like a pageant queen, right? She was the queen that night.
She was the queen that night, that's for sure.
Right. So they took good care of her. And she is up now. Lexi, of course, the shortstop's made some nice plays today. And, again,
very busy, absolutely.
Very busy. And she will lead off here.
0 for 3 last night, 5 out of 18 in the playoffs, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs.
That's going to be a called strike. Good to see fans here from both teams. Good support for all the Panthers here today.
Yeah, the Panthers are going to win tonight.
Yeah, we know, right? This series, the Panthers are going to win it, but people will differ on which ones they want to win it. All right, 0-2 count. That's going to be low. 1-2.
And you talk about the wind, just like yesterday, Scott. Still blowing very hard, gusting to the left field corner. We saw Craig take one in the first inning yesterday, and we know Lexi has the capability of doing the same.
That's going to be, would have been a wild pitch had there been anybody on. But I want to say something here. Okay, the dimensions of this 200 in the corners, 220 to center field, I think maybe at least 1 or 2 of the pitches hit yesterday by the Panthers, had we been back where we were last week in Jordanton, they'd have been home runs.
Or even in Weslaco, or even at PSJA, There was about 2 hitters that, and I remember freshly, Mia Rodriguez was one of them that hit it about 215, 218 feet away.
And speaking of hits, that's a long one to left field. Oh, almost caught out there, but dropped, and that is going to be a double. Good effort by the left fielder. That's DeLuna, who, by the way, yesterday did not play the field. She was the DP, and she almost held on to it, but couldn't quite. Great effort.
I think we made a comment about that the softballs are bigger than the baseballs. I think we were talking about the glove situation, that sometimes those balls, they do pop out of the glove there. That's a perfect example of it. And Escamilla hit it very hard, a line drive there to left field, and the young lady just couldn't haul it in long enough. And you saw the umpire there at the third baseline called her safe. So great call there.
De La Hinosa squares up to bunt. Doesn't get contact. It's going to be a ball. Left fielder, a freshman, number 3.
One of 5 freshmen starting this game. But she was 0 for 2 yesterday, but did credit for RBI, sacrifice fly. 5 out of 14 in the playoffs.
And you know why she squared up to bunt? If you can get to the runner to third with 1 out, even if she makes an out, there's a chance to get the batter in either by a fly ball or a ground out on the infield.
And on top of that, it's the top of the lineup.
Yes, good point.
Lola Reyes is standing on deck right now.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Hits the outside corner. 1-2.
So I'm looking at the third baseman once again, Carter, creeping in there, and the shortstop rotates to third base there. And we saw this yesterday. We've seen this pretty much throughout the playoffs with De La at the plate.
Outside.
And she will work the count.
Yeah.
Very disciplined player, especially for a freshman. That's very, very impressive. But she has the capability of hitting it to the outfield as well. We saw that against Eagle Pass.
And that is going to be popped to short, right? Yeah, the shortstop gets it. So that's going to be a pop-out. Runner will stay at second. Nice play that time.
Miko Dominguez.
By Rodriguez. But Rodriguez made that. Or I'm sorry.
Miko Dominguez made the catch.
That's right. Dominguez made the catch.
But Hinojosa almost got it over her glove. That's what happens when you play shallow, is you risk the possibility of a liner like that going over the defender's head.
All right, we see Coach Lowe out again. Is she going to make a pitching change? We'll have to see. Yes, she is. Talia Reyes comes out, so we know that'll bring Tiv in to pitch. Tiv Martinez, I would assume.
That's who it is.
Yeah. Tiv, of course, in the lineup today was the DP. Now we'll pitch. And again, could have a deciding third game tomorrow. I guess if we would go to a deciding third game and the rain just came and there's no way we could get anything in tomorrow, there would not be a Sunday game. They don't play on Sunday. It would be moved to Monday, but that's way off. But again, people do like to know these kind of things. So
sure.
That's what my understanding is, talking to Coach Lowe at least.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
By UIL, they cannot play tomorrow. And
Or Sunday.
today's Friday.
Yeah. We
Sunday.
lose track. It seems like
feels
it started
like a Saturday.
It does
because we had a game yesterday.
Yeah. Now we thought that would have been a Friday starting it off.
But I know, in talking to Coach Rodriguez over the years, he tells me they will do everything they can to get the series in.
Of course.
On a Saturday, they try to finish.
We have hotel rooms here. It becomes a logistic. I don't want to say nightmare, but logistic problem.
It's a scheduled 2 p.m. start, but they will hang around. If the field is in good enough shape, they will wait for the rain to go away. Yeah. And when it does, they'll play. And if it rains again, we'll have another delay. Yeah. And we'll just kind of wait. Worst case scenario would be going to another field if there's one available, say in Corpus Christi or somewhere nearby.
Right.
And then after that, if they can't put the game in by midnight, then Monday would probably be the next opportunity.
Lola Reyes at the plate. Squaring up to bunt. Now backs off. We had a little seminar on slap hitting. Reyes is one of those. Their bats may look similar to the other bats used by players, but they're a little smaller, maybe 32, 33 ounces, where the other bats used by the young ladies are 34 or 35 ounces. And again, we mentioned Reyes, a slap hitter. There she slaps it to second. Runner will go to third, and that is going to be a 4-3 out, but a sacrifice, as we see the runner will go to third base, Escamilla.
So she got the job done. She moved the runner from second to third there. So you talk about the wild pitch. Yeah. This is where we can potentially see a speedy runner like Escamilla that can come in home 60 feet if, say, there's a pass ball or a wild pitch.
Alexis Solis up. She walked and scored her first time up. Junior, where's number 4? Weslaco, purple pants today, white jerseys with the purple numerals. They've got, about 3 or 4 different uniforms, don't they? Or uniform combinations.
Hey, I'm trying to remember on top of my head. I think there's one of them is gray, too, if I remember. Yeah, I can't remember right now. My mind is blank. We're so focused on the situation here.
One of our Weslaco KWES staff shirts is gray and purple.
Right.
So that might be true what you're saying.
But, yeah, I think they have a purple top. They have, I believe, a purple. Yesterday was, I think, purple top, white bottom. And then today it's the white top, purple pants.
And there's our fashion report from Mr. Gonzalez. And that is going to be a hitting report. Going to go over the head of the left fielder. One run will score. That is going to be an easy double. So Solis doubles in a run. Escamilla comes in. And now the score will be 4-0.
For Solis, that's RBI number 4 in the playoffs, her 9th hit of the postseason. And once again, 2 outs.
Yeah.
2 outs once again. Lady Panthers of Weslaco coming through, and we're going to have a substitution there. Tough play for that fielder there. That was Elia De Luna there, but that ball was hit so hard. She kind of took 1 or 2 steps forward and 1 or 2 steps back, and then the ball just flew over her head.
I believe number 8, Allison Munoz, is coming in at outfield, a senior. And we talked to Coach before the game. She's played some this year. I think she's played a number of positions, too.
So she's a versatile player there. So right now, I
think she might even be able to pitch. I'm not positive on that.
Okay.
I think I heard that maybe.
Okay. So right now, Weslaco is pulling off all the stops here, getting those big hits, getting those good game situational plays, executing. And it is O'Connor that are coming up with the minor mistakes there. I mean, because...
Well, they got all the breaks yesterday. I don't mean that in a bad way, but remember one of our runners, you talked about that, one of our runners got hit by running, a great diving catch by the second baseman. Got to give a lot of credit on that play yesterday to Kaylin Rodriguez.
Right.
Now, Andrea Ortiz up, the right fielder, a freshman, and she singled and scored her first time up in that big inning.
But I guarantee you that play in left field was a tough play. And then we talk about the win. You got to take the win into consideration.
Swing, strike. Good movement on that pitch.
Yeah, it was low and outside, but Ortiz was chasing it.
0-2.
But yeah, now they made the pitching change here. Now they got to remember to adjust to Martinez now.
Right. Well,
very similar but different.
And we can say this now because the game started. The coaches sometimes tell us some things in confidence. Originally, the plan for O'Connor was to have Talia go the whole way Reyes yesterday, or at least as long as possible, and have Tiv start today. Obviously, that got switched around. that's the coach thought that would be the best thing to do. But that was her original plan.
That was her original plan. Kind of like Eagle Pass, too, very similar with their number 2 pitcher, where they would want her to go as long as possible. And, we saw in Game 3 the changes that we see.
Wild pitch. You talked about wild pitches, advancing runners. That one will. So we see Solis go to third base.
So I'm still going to ask the question that I asked yesterday, and that is, even though Tavali's in the game, will they bring Reyes back in? It didn't happen yesterday. Will it happen later today? I don't know.
I don't know. That I don't know. Or could they just use somebody else, if someone like a Munoz or somebody, if they think it gets out of hand?
Right, that's a very good point as well.
They may at some point raise the white flag and just say, we're going to live for another day. We'll see, but we're way early for that. Only the second inning. Ortiz up, 2-2 the count. Swinging strike, and that is going to end this inning, but another run for Weslaco. So in the inning, we had 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We've played 2 complete, and this is the Lady Panthers of Weslaco shutting out so far O'Connor of San Antonio 4-0. And I am going to get real specific here. This is the girls 4-6A softball regional quarterfinals. How do you like that? That's a mouthful.
Perfect.
This also is a KWES production. That was easy to say.
That was the easiest part.
All right, Mike. We usually just say round 3, but there is a technical title to this. So, Mike, what you've seen, whatever coaches did, I know they showed like a motivational video. They probably talked to young ladies. You know, the young ladies, I think, tried to get some rest, get this out of their mind yesterday. Not so sure all of them came down for an early breakfast like they might some days. Maybe kind of just got some rest. They did have a good lunch.
Brunch.
Yeah, brunch. There you go. Yes, we had brunch.
Yes.
And so they were all ready to go. But I think, as of this point, the coaching staff did everything right. I'm talking about Weslaco trying to get over that loss. Do you agree?
I agree 100%. You can tell that the players are focused and coming with a sense of urgency here. I like what I see, executing, and the defense was there in the first inning here. So let's see if it continues.
And coming up as we begin the top of the third inning, scheduled 7-inning game, Kaylin Rodriguez, the second baseman, a senior. And I got to jump in right away, regardless of the weather. Let's not worry about that for at least a moment tomorrow. Won't there be a toss of the coin again after this game?
I believe so, because that's what we saw in Game 2 last week.
And we made a joke because Weslaco did not win the coin toss. They were the visiting team, but they won anyhow. We were joking that maybe Mike Gonzalez should go out there and call the coin toss, right? But maybe
if they ask him.
Yeah. But maybe now, because they won being the visiting team against Eagle Pass in the deciding third game, maybe superstitiously they want to be the visiting team again. Though I don't think so. But I mean, but teams are superstitious. But there is a definite advantage to being the home team, Mike.
Yeah, because you got the last at bat there, and it's just just a little something minor there. But
right,
if you're kind of like in football, I always like for the defense to come out first.
Yes,
I'd rather receive to start the third quarter. Right. It's kind of like that, different but similar in softball and baseball. You want to be the last ones to get the opportunity.
1-1 the count. It's fouled off by Rodriguez. And how's she been doing? How did she do? You have some notes on her?
I do. Yeah. Yes, 2 for 3.
I thought she did good yesterday. That's why I wanted to ask you. Yeah.
Had a double, a single, and did score a run. Came in with a 250 batting average, but did not play like she was a 250 hitter at all. She did a tremendous job. A senior on the team.
Maddie has the pitch, and it's a swing and a strikeout. A little heat that time.
Wow. Huh? Third strikeout of the night for Madeline. It's crazy because and I've said it before, against PSGA, she didn't have not one single strikeout in the 2 games they played. Right. So if you consider they played 7 innings in game 1, 5 innings in game 2, that's 12.
And who's up right now? I think Allison Munoz is up because they pulled the
switch.
Luna. Yeah. Okay. I want to make sure that they didn't switch back. So Munoz, first time we've seen her in the series. But I've been told she started this year. We talked to their coach before the game. She has started and played a number of positions. And as we look at her, she is a senior, listed as an outfielder.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, Scott, her numbers are very are excellent as well.
All right,
considering
let's hear
she
'em.
didn't hit yesterday. 343 batting average, 1 home run, 16 RBIs, 6 doubles, 3 triples. So she really puts the ball in play.
Oh, yeah. So, even though she's a reserve in quotations,
Sure.
she definitely has got a lot of experience. And that's going to be popped up. 1-2 the count. Again, heat has not been a factor at all today. It's been overcast. We had a sunny day in the afternoon. The clouds are moving in for the expected rain later tonight, but we hope it holds off. Last report, about a 40% chance of rain beginning at 10. And some more heat. 2 consecutive swinging strikeouts.
I think the heat has gone to Madeline's
it's
arm.
gone from the sky. It's gone. That's the line of the night.
Into her
All right.
arm, into her shoulder
Now,
area.
I'll do a little, well, let me say who's coming up first. We're back to Savannah Pope, top of the lineup. Now, I want to ask you, I know when we enjoyed it, I watched some of it today from the Eagle Pass series. You put together, and I don't want to use the word package because I'm using technical talk. You put some video highlights up on the internet. We got to see of the Eagle Pass series, about 7 minutes long. I want to compliment you on that.
Oh, thank you.
So after that cute remark you made, when you do the highlight, not package, highlight, what do you call it? I'm going to try not to use technical talk.
Well, we just use highlight. It's just the proper
we
phases,
both work in
highlights.
the business, so
Sure.
we use technical terms.
Sure.
I hate doing that on the broadcast. But anyhow, when you do the highlights of the series, are you going to use your cute little remark there as a highlight?
I'm just me. Hopefully I'll remember it as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say things and we'll never use it again.
And
I got to write it down.
Yeah, it's 0-1. She's a slap hitter. I do want to ask you seriously, though. If people want to look at the highlights of Eagle Pass or the highlights of this series later, what do they need to do to see these highlights on YouTube? Of your highlights.
Absolutely. What happens is we go back to work Monday and I start cutting it. And depending on how the day goes, I may release it Monday afternoon or
put it
Tuesday.
together.
Yes. And with Weslaco High baseball also involved, I'm going to do both of them.
All right, it's going to go to third, and it's a fast throw, and what a throw for the out. My gosh, we'll talk more about that in just a moment, but you've got to like the arm from Solis down to Craig. So after 2 strikeouts, a ground out, 3 up, 3 down. We've played 2.5 innings, and it is Weslaco over O'Connor 4-0. Mike, going back to that for people that want to see the highlights of Eagle Pass that you can already find on YouTube, or see the highlights of the Weslaco boys that are playing this weekend. Hopefully they'll finish this weekend and with a victory. And again, the highlights of this girls series, regardless of what happens. What do they need to do to see the highlights?
Oh, it's easy. They just need to go to Weslaco ISD, our social media channels. They'll be available on Facebook and YouTube, and I even share the link on Twitter there. So just like they're watching this game on YouTube, you just got to stick around for it. It'll pop up, hopefully Monday afternoon.
Okay.
Or if not, it'll be early on Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, it depends on if any of these series go to Monday, which we hope not.
That's a very good point. Yeah. If we are even able to finish this series this weekend.
And the one in San Antonio tomorrow.
Yeah, another good point there, because they're expecting some pretty bad weather there tomorrow.
You know what we hope? The best we can hope for, and I've looked at, there was a lot of violent weather. It looked like, the orange weather and yellow weather down in Mexico. It looked like it was moving up toward this way earlier today. Let's hope it just moves out overnight. That would be great.
That would be great.
You never know. Fast-moving storms.
The downside to that would be that it'll probably be very humid and hot if it clears. But we'll just wait.
Right.
We'll just wait and see.
All right, we are going to the bottom of the third inning. Weslaco leading 4-0. Glad to have everybody with us. Mia Rodriguez. Good to see her up there, don't you?
Absolutely. So through 2 innings, the Lady Panthers of Weslaco with 6 hits already.
Yeah.
So their lineup has come out to play today.
Right. And with this wind blowing to left, who knows? She had a good shot yesterday. Remember, 220 to center field. You said she hit a shot that was caught 215, 5 feet away from hitting the wall. So maybe she can do that with this wind. Right now it's really gusting. Looks like it could be blowing up 20 miles an hour toward left field. And again, Mia known for hitting home runs. Since the playoffs, since the district season began in the playoffs, she's had 6 home runs. So.
And she's had 1 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In game 1 against.
So I think
PSA
maybe that's 7, maybe
for the season.
Well, actually, since we got to district play, I think she's got 9 overall. So.
Yeah, she leads the team.
Yeah,
It's fair to say.
We know she has got a bunch. I don't know if she'll get to 22 like Coach Lowe did in a season, but she's doing good. 3-0 the count. Yes, Coach Lowe, when she was either in college or high school, did hit 22 home runs in a season. So, actually, they do some charity stuff, and she still sometimes swings for the fences, right, for charity. Some charity events.
We were actually joking with her if we think she could still hit a home run today.
Yeah.
If, say, she takes batting practice, or if she maybe participates in one of those charity games, is she able to hit it out of the ballpark? And she kind of thought about it and kind of said, I haven't tried actually. And I even asked her back in her heyday if she thinks if she was able to hit a home run over a baseball park. And
a baseball park, not a softball field, a baseball field.
Yeah, she's that strong.
Yeah, she is. That's low, so a walk. So I know in the last 2 series, Mia's got at least 3 walks. I think she had 2 against Eagle Pass and at least 1 in this series.
Right. And I'm just kind of going through the lineup real quick. That's the second time the Lady Panthers of Weslaco have drawn a walk there. So we see the patience of the hitters.
Now, Hannah Montelago, a freshman, and I'm going to give you the honors of talking about what she's done so far.
Oh, RBI, 2 RBI single to start the scoring for Weslaco in the first inning. It was outstanding. It came with 2 outs after a double play was hit. Bases were loaded, if you remember, and then Weslaco was hitting into a double play there, and then Hannah delivered 2 RBI.
Yeah,
single.
we thought that Talia, who's now out of the game, Talia Reyes, was going to get out of the inning. Remember, after Mia hit into the double play.
And the reason why we say that is because that's what happened yesterday. Right. They were able to get out of a lot of jams.
They just gave up one. I think they got a double play. And they had the bases loaded, right? I think.
Correct.
Weslaco,
nobody out.
And there was a double play, and they wound up just giving up 1 run that inning. We're talking about the O'Connor team.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. So Montelongo's up. 0-2 is the count. And again, Mia on first base. And I know you'd like to have this game get done quick with the Weslaco victory, because isn't there something else you want to watch tonight?
Well, yeah. I got to see my Lakers play. Hopefully they can finish off the series against the world champs, Golden State Warriors.
They're in L.A.? Or Golden
Tonight they are in L.A., so they are home.
Okay. And they lead. What is it? What is the series now?
3-2 in favor of the Lakers.
The Lakers, right. And we'll get back to baseball. Just one final question. Anthony Davis going to show up tonight or not?
He's expected to play.
But I mean,
will he show up
as a player?
Do we want him to show up as a top 5 player that he needs to be?
Yeah.
I hope so. I expect him to.
All right, we'll see. I like Anthony. And that is going to be a called 3rd strike to Montelongo.
And Martinez needed that after coming in the 2nd inning, once again in a difficult situation like yesterday, came away with and then gives up a walk to start the inning, comes up with a big strikeout here.
Elizabeth Craig going to bat. Now she's talking to Coach Rodriguez for a moment. Talk about Craig's first at bat. That was pretty special, too.
It was. Once again, an RBI single. That was to center field. And, she took it on the first pitch. I wasn't able to break down the stats, the updated stats of her. It's 9 out of 18 in the playoffs. And last night hit her first home run. Has 8 RBIs, a team high 8 RBIs now. Well, now 9 if you count the first inning. Yeah. And has now 2 doubles and 1 for 4. Last night was 1 for 4 with that 2-run homer and 2 RBIs there.
All right, and they've got a designated runner now.
That's number 2, Kayla Izagiri, who came in for Mia Rodriguez. Something I learned also this morning that I did not know, Scott, is that a pitcher and a catcher, they can be substituted as courtesy runners as many times.
They can, okay.
Right. But when it comes to the other positions, you could only do it 1 time.
Good insight.
And I did not know that. So I learned something today. About softball.
The late Johnny Carson, who hosted a late night show forever, The Tonight Show. I think Jimmy Fallon hosts it now, but he did it for like 29 years, from like 1962 to 1991. He used to always say, "I did not know that." All right, did you copy that from Johnny Carson?
I remember as growing up as a young kid. My parents were pretty big Johnny Carson fans. Yeah,
he's the legend of late night. 0-1 the count.
The original, right? He's the one that kind of started, though.
And now you know that.
And now I know that.
All right. So, let's see if Elizabeth Craig can get things going. There's a grounder to short. Shortstop can't handle it. And it's going to be an error this time. Miko Dominguez bobbles the ball, and we've got runners on first and second. So, we see that The designated runner is Agati gets to second, and Elizabeth Craig will get to first on an E6.
And once again, a mistake by O'Connor. We saw O'Connor take advantage of it last night.
Right.
The Lady Panthers need to continue
Yeah.
pouring it on. You know, no run is no
lead is safe.
Is safe.
Good point.
In the playoffs, the third round of the playoffs against the defending state champs.
Yeah. And keep that in mind. They are the defending state champs, and they have players back from last year. Romy Nunez, the catcher, is up.
I see Coach Rodriguez animated out there. We saw that in Game 3 against Eagle Pass, especially the last few innings. And he understands that we got to win this game to play again, to live another day.
To live to see another day.
Right.
That's another cliche saying. We've got enough, few of those, right? Okay, that's going to be low. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, you heard him. You heard him right now. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Even using his fists a little bit, his arms and fists.
You know what we haven't seen yet? I don't know if it's something because we're behind the series. The girls haven't come out in their headgear and their
maybe they're
hats.
doing, that remains to be seen, but maybe they're doing the all-business approach.
All right. No, I'm not arguing that. It's just different,
Yeah.
Because one game they came out like 4 or 5 times, and some games they don't. It's all different. 3 balls, no strikes.
Then I'm looking at those winds, Scott. It's still blowing very hard, gusting to that left field corner. And Romy Nunez, we know how powerful she is.
I've seen Romy hit a home run, I think, sometime during her career. That's low. So the bags are jammed. 4 straight balls. You heard even the PA announcer saw that.
Yeah, I love the patience of Weslaco, just taking the pitches there, making Martinez throw strikes so she wasn't able to. We're going to see a courtesy runner here.
And am I correct? Okay, first we'll get the courtesy runner in. Now, I want you to look at something while we get the courtesy runner's name out. It's windy here as we get the roster out. It's Kira Sosa, very good defensive player, junior. Okay, am I correct that so far no hits in this inning, though we have the bags jammed? Am I correct on that?
We had a leadoff walk, an E6, and another walk here in the inning.
So that's one way to manufacture runs, right?
Right, and there is one out here.
Yeah.
With the senior.
Lexi Escamilla. Let's see if she's got the number 5. Let's see if we can at least get a 5th run while she's at bat. Like to see a lot more. 1 out. The reason I say a 5th run is because she could have a sacrifice and bring in a runner even if she makes an out.
And we see the third baseman once again, Carter, kind of cheating about 2 or 3 feet.
Right.
In the infield there.
And baseball is something you can cheat in, like you just said, and it's okay. The way you put it. That's a cheating that's okay in sports. Cheating up.
Yeah.
An infielder cheating up to get an angle on the batter.
Oh.
Whoa.
Lexi, I saw her right away. She wishes she can have that pitch. Yeah. We saw the same thing in Game 1 against Eagle Pass. Same reaction she had, like, oh, throw me that pitch again. Throw me that pitch again. And she hit a home run. Let's see what happens here. She knows it.
And there is a low pitch. And, of course, the Escamilla family's here. We've talked about it a number of times. They're a legacy in Weslaco softball.
Right. Audrey played earlier today in that junior college league that she's in, and they won, and I think they're playing again tomorrow. So we congratulate her. Of course, Alyssa is a shortstop.
And they've got a younger sister's coming up, too,
Eighth grader.
Yeah.
Will be a freshman next year. Will be a volleyball player and a softball player.
Excellent. Very nice family, too.
Yeah, great family. I mean, I've known them since I was a kid. I went to school with them, and beautiful family.
So you've known them for like 60 years?
Feels like it.
You walked into that one. Yeah, it feels like it. Good comeback, though. All right, 2-2 the count. Remember being a former disc jockey. Once in a while, I still got one of those lines. All right, that is going to be, foul down the line. And thank goodness the courtesy runner ducked in time. Wow. Yeah, even the PA announcer said, watch out there.
Yeah, Isagire there had to kind of turn around there and dodge the bullet, as they say.
Yeah. So, you talk about dodging. Everybody heard of the Los Angeles Dodgers, just really quick. That team was back in the 1890s. That's when it formed. And you think, what's the Dodger about? It actually was about trolley cars in New York City when they were in Brooklyn. They were called the Trolley Dodgers.
Oh, I did not know that. I knew of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah, but no, it was about trolleys dodging them in New York City. And that will go to the third baseman, down to the catcher for 1 out, not in time to first. So the designated runner is out. 5-2 on the throw. A fielder's choice for Escamilla. And now we have 2 outs, and we have runners on first and second. Escamilla has good speed. It was a nice throw, but Escamilla is just too fast, and she beat it out.
Exactly, just like the other time when they were able to pull off the double play, the same situation.
Yeah, it was the same situation.
It went to Carter at third and threw to home immediately. Yeah. But, Lexi's just too fast here, and let's see, we might have a change or number 10. So I think it's a pinch hitter, number 10.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So we do have a pinch runner in the game now.
No, a pinch hitter, number 10. Hitter? Yes.
All right, Emma Galvan is in. She started yesterday.
Correct.
Number 11.
Number
she had
10.
Or 10, I'm sorry. Well, hold on, let me see if I got it. It's windy here. We have to kind of keep our rosters under cover, so it takes me a minute to open everything up. It'll blow everything off our table. Yeah, it is Galvan. I thought so. And she had a big hit yesterday, didn't she?
She had a sac fly.
Yeah, well,
she had a sack, but hit an RBI single.
Yeah, well, an RBI
in the fourth inning and did draw a walk.
Yeah,
so she did get on base twice.
Right. So Galvan is in for who? I'm sorry, I've kind of lost track here for a moment.
She's for Dela Hinojosa.
All right,
the number 9 spot.
Gotcha. All right. One thing people don't see, we're a little behind the scenes. We have a lot of wind here, so we have to hold all our papers down, and to make sure they don't blow away. So sometimes it takes us a moment to check our rosters.
I have stuff down on my clipboard, stuff down on the table, holding a pencil, stuff on my hands, stuff in my pocket.
Yeah, just trying to hold down the fort, literally, because of the winds.
Just to give the public the best coverage as we can.
It's 1 and 2.
But I think we're doing okay.
Well, we're having fun.
We're having fun.
That's for sure. What could be better than on a Friday night watching some great competitive girls softball playoffs?
The coaches make it fun, the players make it fun, and the fans make it fun.
Everybody's nice to talk to, too. You're right about that. And that's going to be a grounder. The pitcher has it, and Tiff throws it to first, and it is an out, and the inning comes to an end. But we see here that I'm trying to look here. Were there any hits in this inning?
No. No. We had a couple of walks.
Yeah, a couple walks.
An error and a fielder's choice.
So we have, 2 left on, right? If
I believe, yeah.
All right, so no
run?
3. It was 3. 3 left on, all right. Yeah. All right, so we had no runs, no hits, no errors. Actually, 1 error. 3 left on base. There we got it down. So we have now played 3 complete, 4-0. It's Weslaco over O'Connor. This is a KWES production. Now, they worked very hard to get a run. Didn't get it, but I'll tell you what, they took advantage of every break. And the reason I use the word break, really, Weslaco didn't get breaks yesterday.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, they didn't get a run, I admit that. So that was a break for O'Connor. But Weslaco did everything short of scoring a run on their breaks in that half inning.
And I like the fact that they're patient at the plate. Yeah. You mentioned that they drew 2 walks.
There's some sort of change. There's some sort of change, I believe. I saw the umpire, but I am not sure what it is.
I want to say, let me see.
We'll see.
I was looking at the dugout there.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Not sure. Maybe it was a change in a fielder. Sorry, folks, we haven't been able to pick it up yet. All right, we are going now to the 4th inning. Okay, and we have we have Miko Dominguez up, the sophomore, number 14. If we have a fielding change, we haven't picked it up yet, but we'll try to get it if we can find out. That is going to be a fly ball to center field. Lola moves about 3 steps ahead and gets it for the first out.
And we talked about the space over there at center field, and Lola with plenty of room there called everybody off and comes out with a great catch. And Lola having a great series defensively, coming up with the plays out there.
F8?
F8.
So Emily Fish, who struck out her first time up, junior, number 18, comes to bat.
So Madeline continues to roll along here to start the 4th inning. Again, her pitches have been limited, and you're only helping her out.
Yeah.
She's still fresh out there, still feeling very good. Defense making the plays.
We talked about this last game. Because of the nature of how you throw in softball, you can throw a lot more because it doesn't put as much stress on your arm as baseball. There's a high fly ball. Did Lola get it? Yes. Lola caught it one-handed, heading toward the wall in left center field. So Lola makes 2 consecutive outs, another F8. This time Emily Fish, the second out of the inning. You saw it, Mike. Boy, she just got out there, ran, put one arm up, and she caught that ball with a tricky win.
And this time, she had to move to her right there as it got closer to the wall. I wasn't sure if it was going to stay in the ballpark, with the wind still blowing to that corner there. And you see how intelligent she is as she got near the wall. She using her hand to kind of protect herself there and comes up with a catch there, getting a big out.
Haley Carter has a big hit, and that one will go out. Oh,
or is it a foul?
Gosh. Or is it foul? Okay.
I believe it's a
All
foul
right,
ball.
thank goodness. Wow. I knew it went out, but I wasn't sure it was foul.
What does some announcers say? A long foul ball.
A long foul ball.
Yeah.
Good call on that one. Again, we're getting toward twilight here, and now I think Coach Lowe might thought it went out, didn't she?
So now we're going to have a conference between the third baseman and the umpire here behind home plate.
Right.
The third base umpire. So okay, we're going to call
we're
everybody
kind of in
out.
what you call in the twilight right now, and so it's a little hard to sometimes pick up the ball as it goes out.
The sun sets here a little after 8 o'clock, and it's 37, 38.
Okay.
So, but it's just that it's gloomy. It's very gloomy. So that's why we already have the lights out here.
Lights have been on since the beginning of the game. So.
And it is getting darker and darker.
Right. But I knew that thing had been crushed. No doubt there. Carter has several home runs, doesn't she, this year, or am I wrong on that?
Let's see. Let me go back to my notes. We talked about the notes here. So, Carter coming into the series had 2 home runs.
Right.
The 349 batting average.
So it's going to be?
I think they're sticking to the out. Right. Yeah, to the, not an out, but a foul ball.
Okay. And Mina Garcia just sent us a message, all right? Works in the KWES office. She is very proud of Lola because they have a relationship, don't they?
Yeah, she's, I believe, I already forgot. We talked about it recently, but they're all related. That's her, I believe, her niece.
Right.
Her grandniece, I think is what it is.
Well, Mina's a pretty grand person herself, right? We enjoyed dealing with her. She's kind of runs the office for Carlos over there, Carlos Robledo, the head of KWES.
So, Lowe was really, really trying to persuade that a home plate umpire. And home plate umpire says, like, well, here's the line. And then we use kind of an imaginary line going up down the foul pole line there. They kind of use an imaginary line there. And it's a judgment call. Yeah. I mean, last year we had a judgment call go against Weslaco in Game 2. Oddly enough.
Yeah. Well, did we talk about breaks?
To end the game.
Yeah, some of the breaks going our way this game.
Where Mia Rodriguez looked like she was safe, and she would have scored the tying run there.
Right.
But the home plate umpire called her out.
I remember that.
And that's how Game 2 ended.
Right.
And O'Connor moved on to the state tournament, won the state championship.
Yeah.
We for sure would have had a tie game. We'll never know if Weslaco would have been able to pull it off in Game 2. But
I think I watched the highlights. I'm not sure I saw that live, but I did watch the highlights.
Call this what you like, but it's in Weslaco's favor, that's for sure.
That's outside. 1-2 the count.
Unfortunately, it ended the game in last year's situation, but in this game, there's still a lot of softball left to play.
Yes.
We're in the 4th inning. And the hitter is still alive.
Ball's low. Again, good crowds out for both teams. Appreciate everybody also watching on YouTube. Val Zamora, our videographer, giving you all these great pictures. Adrian De Leon streaming the game tonight. Appreciate their good work.
That's definitely foul.
Yeah, that's definitely foul. But it's also down toward the left.
Yes.
So one thing I will say for Haley, she's hitting the ball where she should if she'd like to get a long one.
Yeah, that ball was hit so hard that it hit one of the lights here at the football stadium that's adjacent to us right here. So they probably took a few bounces and then it hit those lights that we have here.
It is a sports complex
here
at the high school. We see the football stadium, got a big baseball stadium behind us, and, of course, the softball field. And there is a big woof for the third out. So in the inning, a couple flyouts to Lola and the strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We've had 3.5 innings of softball, and it is Weslaco over Connor, 4-0. This is a KWES production. So, Mike, you always like to see the pitcher get stronger as time goes on. And we seem to be seeing that.
So I've seen Madeline Cantu since the start of the playoffs here, and so I'm beginning to learn about her a little bit. I'm learning about her personality.
Right.
I'm learning about her competitiveness, and one thing I'm realizing is, man, when she gets mad, she gets mad. Yesterday,
is that one of those things she doesn't get mad, she gets even, right?
10 hits against O'Connor in game 1, up to through 4 innings or through 3 innings. She's only allowed through 4 innings. She's only allowed 1 hit, and that was in the first inning. She's had a 1-2-3 inning in the second, a 1-2-3 inning in the third, and now in the 4th inning. So she is pitching a gem.
Now I got to ask you, you've been to a lot of playoff games, and not just with Weslaco, but a lot of times I look at things historically. A lot of these series, especially in the earlier going, even up to this part of it, of the playoffs, a lot of the series just are 2-0. But yet now we potentially, and again it's early, potentially could have 2 straight series with Weslaco going 3 games.
Yeah.
Is that unusual or not in the playoffs?
Well, not at all. Not at all, Scott. Right. And in fact, I think you've covered some of them with Weslaco where they've actually lost game 1.
Right.
I know in Laredo it's happened to them where they've lost game 1 but have bounced back and win games 2 and 3 and move on. So they're used to adversity.
Okay.
I mean, last year was probably the exception where they made a great run and then it ended in the Elite 8. But part of the playoffs in softball and baseball is facing adversity here.
All right.
And I like what I see from Weslaco High here in game 2.
We are going to the bottom of the 4th. Lola Reyes leading off. And Mike, as we were talking during the break, yes, Weslaco went to the Elite 8, but they've gone farther than that, haven't they, over the years?
2016, the spring of 2016, went all the way to the state tournament, to the Final Four. Their only appearance to the Final Four, but proudly one of the few Valley programs that's ever accomplished that. Something to be proud of. San Benito's the other program to do that, and they're still alive here in the playoffs as Lyford Bulldogs. We wish both programs luck in the series that they have.
Now, if you get to the final part of this tournament, is it played at a designated location?
The state tournament?
Yeah.
It's at UT Austin.
Okay.
Home of the Longhorns.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was actually there for the game.
Okay.
Nice
facility, I would assume.
Oh, beautiful. It was gorgeous. And we talked about Escamilla. Alyssa and Audrey were a part of that run.
Nice. Slap by Lola. It's going to go to the shortstop. Quick throw. And I'm telling you what, she beat that, or I'm saying the throw beat Lola by an eyelash.
Well, give credit to Miko Dominguez. You saw how aggressively she got the ball, released it to first base, threw it as hard as she could. Lola still almost beat the throw there at first base.
I mean, in that old saying, tie goes the runner, it almost looked like a tie, but obviously the umpire had the good position.
And you notice it took him a few seconds to make that call.
He had to think about it.
He had to think about it.
Anytime with Lola, you're going to think about it, because that's why she's a great slap hitter. Good at what she does. Alexis Solis is up, and she's scored in this game. She's been on base both times, hasn't she?
She drew a walk and scored in the first, and then hit a double in the second inning, was stranded at third base. So she's been busy.
Yes, she has. She's a junior.
And she's made a defensive play at third base earlier in the game.
That's one thing we're seeing Weslaco do good on both areas. Oh, all 3 areas. Pitching, offense, and defense. They're like a triple threat tonight.
And
1-1.
I'm looking at the shortstop, and she's playing closer to the third base back. So there's a lot of room. Well, around the second base area, basically, and the left side of it. And considering that she's a right-handed hitter, they think that she's strictly going to pull it.
Yeah. That's a called strike.
And that's on the left side to us, the right side to O'Connor, but the right side to us, which is first base and second base, are playing at normal depth.
1-2.
So, yeah, I'm a little curious about that. That left center area, there's a lot of space.
Count even to 2. Again, we're not sure exactly who's going to be the home team tomorrow. Probably going to be a toss of the coin like last time. That's, of course, if Weslaco wins. In control right now, but still several innings to go. And that is going to be a single into center field.
Just like I said, Scott.
You're right. Good prognostication.
I mean, I don't know if it would have made a difference, Scott, but I can guarantee you Minko Dominguez would have had an opportunity to at least put a glove on it had she been playing at her normal position.
Andrea Ortiz, the right fielder, freshman number 11, is up. And she has singled and scored, also struck out. Just one out. Bottom of the fourth. Remember Weslaco, the home team, scores up to bunt. Catcher thinks of throwing to first, does not. Runner back easily.
So as we're here in the fourth inning, Scott, we could already say for a fact that the Lady Panthers of Weslaco have had at least one base runner in every inning.
Nice.
Very nice.
Consistency. Runner goes. Catcher throws from her knees. Shortstop dives to make sure it doesn't go in the outfield, and the runner doesn't get to third, but give a stolen base to Solis.
Yeah, if you noticed, the catcher just kind of threw it out there, and there was nobody there. That's a Mia Hassel.
Right.
So the shortstop had to hustle there to the bag and the second baseman. And
if it went to center field at all, Solis with her speed would have been on third now. With one out and a sacrifice could have brought her in.
So heads up running by Solis there, realizing that.
Again, nice evening for the spectators with the breeze, and we haven't had the intense sunshine as we had yesterday early on. But our concern, again, the weather for later tonight. 1-2 the count. Low.
Good eye, as one of the fans just said right now.
2-2.
But yeah, I really, really like the patience the Lady Panthers, Weslaco here, have against O'Connor. I mean, think about it, Scott. If we do go to a game 3, these little things come back a little bit. The pitch count, making them work, making them use the arm, the shoulder. Eventually, they wore down.
That's going to be a foul tip. Batter stays alive. And one thing also, they're going to show if they win this game that neither of these pitchers, which are both great pitchers for O'Connor, I'll give them credit. One has 16 wins and just one loss, but they're not able to intimidate them.
No, not at all, because obviously we see the adjustments that
they can adjust to these good.
Sure.
That's the perfect word, Mike, adjustments. They've made adjustments just like they did against those two pitchers from Eagle Pass who are both going on to, I think, 4-year schools. And that's going to be a strikeout that time. Remember, the pitchers they adjusted to in the last series, I believe one might be going to Angelina College and the other is going to Incarnate Word.
Yeah, and for Martinez, that's her third strikeout there, a big one, because that's the second out of the inning, and Solis stays at second base.
Mia Rodriguez coming to the plate.
And she drew a walk her last time up in the third, and if you remember, was coming home on what was a double play attempt, I think it was, and she was out.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if they'd put in a courtesy runner at some point for it. They might have, but that's not the point. The point is there was an out made by that position.
You know what? You're right, Scott. There was a courtesy runner, so the courtesy runner was out.
Yeah.
Good point. Good catch there.
That's about the only catching I could do. Right. You put me out there on all thumbs.
Well, remember, we said it yesterday. There's no canopy behind us or on top of us like last week, so we might have to catch a few foul balls.
I should have brought a hat with me, catching in a hat or something.
We joked about maybe going to Walmart or Academy after last night's game. Well, we didn't do that, so.
No. 1-1 the count. 2-1.
So the 4 runs the Lady Panthers of Weslaco have so far have come with 2 outs. So once again, Mia Rodriguez with a 2-out opportunity here to drive in. A 5th run would be great.
And the winds are picking up again, so maybe if she lofts something to the outfield, it could go out. Again, she had a close call to getting a home run, about 5 feet short yesterday. That's going to be a strike.
Got the outside corner there. Big call there because now it's 2-2 instead of 3-1.
She can't take this pitch like maybe she could have in the other situation. Got to be aggressive on this pitch. It looked like the pitcher was getting some instructions from the dugout. Low, now it is a full count. Mia trying to get her 4th walk in these last 2 series. Against Eagle Pass and now O'Connor. And that is going to be over the third baseman's head. We'll see if the runner goes to score. They do. It's cut off by the third baseman. And we have another run in for Weslaco. A 1-base hit, RBI hit for Mia Rodriguez.
And guess what? It came with 2 outs, just like the other 4 runs.
Right.
2-out hitting has been the difference in this game. Mia Rodriguez delivering. And I want to say, and I'm going to go through my notes real quick.
Let me just quick say Solis came in with the run.
Okay, this is Mia's first RBI since game 1 against PSJ when she had that 2-run homer. So that's her 3rd RBI of the playoffs.
About 5 or 6 games in between, right?
Right. And we noted, we've been noting that she's starting to get hot now.
Yeah,
and
she is.
You know, she's already been on base with an RBI single.
Right.
Oh, I beg your pardon. She was on base with a walk last inning, but last night she had 2 hits.
All right. Montalongo is up. Hannah Montalongo, the DP.
She's the one that delivered a 2 RBI single in that first inning.
Right. Did she score too?
She did.
Yeah. Okay. So she has a run scored.
Thanks to the hitter. Thanks to the hitter on deck coming through.
And that is going to be foul. Hits the fence in left field. 5-0, by the way, is the score now. As Mike said, Weslaco scored at least 1 run in each of the innings, right?
Scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second. They did not score in the 3rd inning.
Okay, did not score in the 3rd. Okay.
Right. If you remember, the bases
were
you're right. Loaded.
They were loaded, but they didn't get 1 in. You're right about that. Did not get a hit in that inning either. 0-2 the count. Low, 1-2. Again, Mia at first. Last time up when she got on base, at some point they did put in a courtesy runner, but even that time they didn't put the courtesy runner in right away. So at this point, she's still in there. Maybe if somehow a walk or hit comes up, maybe then they'll switch to a courtesy runner. We'll have to see. But didn't you say they can only do that once a game?
That is correct.
So they can't do it again.
Yeah.
And that was a strikeout. So in the inning, there are 2 strikeouts, but there also was 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 left on base. We've played 4 complete. We're in Robstown, Texas, south of Corpus Christi, and it's 5-0. Weslaco over O'Connor. This is a KWES production. So everybody enjoying this. If you're Weslaco fans, and I'll tell you this, Weslaco still has to get 9 outs to come up with the victory. Still a ways to go, but what a position, what a better position to be in tonight. And you just feel the momentum, okay? Like, you know, Weslaco really had a struggle, and now we have a gentleman coming out for O'Connor,
and we can identify him because he's wearing a wrestling mask.
He's wearing a wrestling mask. Is he Mr. X or something? Mr. Wrestling 2, I think those are some guys. Mysterio. Yeah, all those guys are wrestlers that wore masks. We know a little bit about it.
Well, when I was a kid, the popular one was Mi Mascara.
Yeah, he was legendary.
He was a legend.
Legendary Hispanic wrestler.
Yeah.
And Rey Mysterio, who is a great one in this area here from the WWE, that was his idol growing up in wrestling. I've seen a documentary on that. And now we also saw a flag for O'Connor being run in the stands, so they're getting excited, I guess. But I don't know, I guess I'll say this. I did say to coach before, their coach before, I said, I see your young ladies are starting to do what Weslaco does with the, you know, mascot things. I said, you know, maybe we're going to have a dance-off here. And she said, oh, Weslaco to win. I loved her sense of humor. It was all in fun, of course.
At least she was honest.
Yeah, because Weslaco's done it for a lot longer.
Yeah.
But she said, I guess recently her young ladies have started doing some of the stuff at Weslaco.
Yeah.
Maybe they picked it up from Weslaco, and, you know, when you start copying somebody, that's like the biggest compliment.
Sure.
So,
Respect.
all right. Yeah, respect. Well, we got now the catcher coming up, Amia Hasso, number 7, a sophomore. She's made an out, grounded out today. And again, it is the top of the 5th.
So Madeline Cantu now has a fun 5-run cushion here with 3 innings to work now. We're in the 5th, so that has to make her feel better.
You know what that means? I'll say right after this pitch fouled off. So even if the bags got jammed and the batter was there, the tying run still would not be at the plate.
Right. Yeah,
that shows you what kind of cushion she has that you brought up.
Very, very good point there. But
we don't want to see that, obviously.
We don't want to see that. But, that has to – Madeline has to feel really good about that.
And that's going to be fouled off. And Hasso has some big shoes to fill. She's come in for Miko Dominguez at catcher. Miko's moved to short, was the catcher on the championship team last year. And, of course, this is just a sophomore. But talking to her father, Amia was on the championship team last year. Okay, so she did actually play on that team. I don't know how much she played, but she was a part of it. And that's going to be high. 2-2 the count. And you got to think, the pitcher could do a lot more different things. You were talking about the cushion. She doesn't necessarily feel the stress if you got to get it in there. She can nibble at the corners maybe more.
Absolutely. You can take a few more chances there. You can, as far as throwing the pitches.
That's going to be tapped towards short. Can Lexi get it in time? Quick throw, and Lexi Escamilla shows that senior ability as she throws to Elizabeth Craig for the out, and that is 6-3.
Great job there by Escamilla. This time delivering the throw right on target there for Craig, and easy out there for the 5'10", 5'11", whatever you want to call it, first baseman.
Depends what kind of shoes she has on. It's all in the shoes. Shirley Lunsford, the center fielder, is coming up. Sophomore, number 19. Another one that was a part of the championship team. As a matter of fact, she was starting as a freshman, I believe, last year on the championship team.
Sophomore this year.
Yeah. Foul back.
What I did with my notes, Scott, when I wrote names down is I put a star on players who were a member of the championship teams overall, but I put another star on the ones that were on the starting lineup or contributed.
Okay.
And so that's why we highlighted Dominguez, Carter, and Lunsford.
Right.
Lunsford would be the third one, as you mentioned, last year as a freshman. That's kind of a cool way to start up your high school career, right?
It is. It is.
It's kind of like a Tony Dorsett as a rookie playing for the Dallas Cowboys and winning a Super Bowl.
Well, you got to remember that both Dominguez and Lunsford both started as freshmen last year, and Carter was only a sophomore.
Right. Junior this year, sophomore last year, so wow.
Yeah, so they had some young contributors to their state championship last year.
And so, that's a pretty good place to start if you're Coach Lowe as far as coming in, taking over a program, and they're state champions. Yes, they were senior heavy, but you have pieces in there that you can still kind of build that foundation as far as doing it her way a little bit.
Right.
And it's been successful. I mean, they're here in the third round, defending their state title.
That's going to be a ball, but they're going to ask for the first base umpire to take a look at it, and he says no, it was a ball. He backs up the home plate umpire.
At that time, Cantu was going for that high strike position there. See if Lunsford would go for it and maybe put the ball in plate, but she held up.
Appeal did not work. Again, 2-2 the count. 5-0 Weslaco in the fifth. That's popped up toward left field. It's going to go way back, but right under the light pole, it's going to be an out.
And I want to say, Scott, that was Galvan.
Okay, Galvan's
Remember we talked about a substitute. I'm trying to get her number there, but I believe it's number 10.
All right, so we're going to give it to Galvan at least for now. Well, we do know that it is an F7. Left fielder with the out. Lunsford was the batter. Now, caught at the warning track. That's what the announcer says here. He's up a little higher than us, has a little better angle of that. So Martinez is up. Tiv Martinez, the pitcher. Again, this is her first chance to bat in this game. Did not bat in the last game, just pitched. Was the flex player. The pitcher position for that game was flex all the way. Again, 2 outs.
Boom.
Whoa, that would have, I just by nature cringed at that.
Thank you, Ned.
Right in the net right in front of me. That's just, a natural reaction. You see that thing coming right for your face.
If
the net's protecting you, obviously.
Well, if that net wasn't there, I don't know if you would still be wearing glasses right now. Put it to that.
And I just bought these. And it was a lot. I even have insurance, but it was still a lot of money.
We got a strikeout here.
Strikeout. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And we are going to the bottom of the fifth with Weslaco right now up 5-0 over the designated visitors today, O'Connor. And again, we said this at the end of last inning. I got to repeat it again, Mike. Maddie's just getting stronger. Didn't she end like the last inning maybe with a strikeout? Something like that.
So she has, what, 6 overall,
Yeah,
I think is what I have as far as strikeouts are concerned. And 4th straight inning where it's 1, 2, 3.
Right.
She only has allowed one hit, a one-hitter through
Wow.
5 innings for the freshman.
I got to ask you this because you've seen a lot of softball. Have you ever seen a... Oh, here comes Weslaco finally.
Finally.
Now, they have come out now. They said, hey, you got that wrestler guy. Now, let's show it how it's really done. And no offense. And I'm not going to be a homer here.
Right.
I think most people would admit that was more entertaining than the wrestling guy. All right. Though I admit he gave it his best shot.
Sure. It was his first time, too, I would imagine.
Yeah. But watching them come out with the unicorn and the panther head and all that, that's classic. All right. That's classic stuff.
Yeah.
Old school. How you like that?
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
I love it. And going back to Cantu, it is strikeout number 6 for the night.
Thank you. Thank you. And now I'm going to ask you real quick, have you ever seen a perfect game or a no-hitter in softball?
I want to say yes. I believe I've covered a few, actually.
All right, because I know you were a writer, a newspaper writer, too.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some great softball, baseball at the Brownsville area when I worked at the Brownsville Herald. And let me tell you, a lot of talent out there in Cameron County. You know, we talked about San Benito earlier, and, yeah, I've seen some great pitching here in the Valley. But,
you know,
I'm excited for Madeline. That's right. I'll tell you that.
I will tell you one thing. Well, let me get back here and say we are going to the bottom of the 5th, and Elizabeth Craig. They have a little routine before they start another half inning of pitching. We're talking about O'Connor. They kind of dance around the circle and jump in and have a little, like, choreographed routine. I've seen it.
Some teams do that.
Yeah, and that was kind of neat.
And it looks like we have a new pitcher. Number 6
yes.
is who I see in the circle.
So we're going to look that up real quick. And this is someone we have not seen yet in this series. And I believe Karina Felsing.
Yeah, I think you're okay there.
A senior pitcher and infielder. And so this is going to be her first action at all. And remember, we talked about this, and I want to be careful how I put it, but I'm not saying they're putting the white flag up, but they definitely want to make sure everybody's fresh for tomorrow. Let's put it that way. I'm talking about 2 starters.
Very good point. And, well, right now, her job is to keep Weslaco at 5 runs and hope that their offense gets it going in the last 2 innings.
Yeah. She's a righty. And first pitch, I believe, was a strike, right? Or second pitch, whatever. She's 1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Craig. So we don't know if they know anything, and I really don't have any stats on her. We had stats on the first 2 pitchers. I don't have anything on her, unfortunately, but we'll get to see. She's got a little bit of a hitch there, right, in her pitch. And
so she's behind 2-1 there, but pretty tough situation, because you're down 5 runs there. But your focus is just, your job is to keep them at 5 runs here.
And that is going to be over the first baseman's head. Easy single for Elizabeth Craig. So maybe if the first baseman was as tall as Elizabeth, she would have got it. No, I'm just joking.
Well, one thing about O'Connor is that they do have real good size. I mean, Craig is 5'10", 5'11", but I tell you what, O'Connor does have some pretty tall players as well.
They do.
In the corners, especially with Carter. Yeah. And the first baseman is Emily Fish there.
Yeah. Now Fish is a little bit shorter, I think, than Craig, but she might be 5'8", 5'9".
I would say so.
Yeah. And now a attempted steal, and she is out. So the catcher got the ball. I believe that was double-checking the number on that.
So for now, they're calling her out, but she immediately called Coach Rodriguez out.
I think it was Dominguez maybe that caught the ball, the shortstop. And they were able to tag her. It was not a slide in there. She was standing up coming in. Tagged her out, and now there'll be an appeal. So Craig will stay on the base for now until...
I like the aggressiveness, knowing the fact there's a new pitcher who hasn't even pitched at all in this series, coming in a difficult situation. Have a base runner, and boom, win for the stolen base immediately.
Well, that's good. You get to see what she can do and how she's under pressure. I'm talking about from Weslaco. Going to make her earn it, right? So, again, if there is a game tomorrow, if Weslaco wins and if the weather allows us, right now it is going to be live on KWES via YouTube beginning at 2 o'clock.
So we're going to have a conference with the coach. So let's see what they're going to talk about here.
Right. Trying to
apparently, yeah, they're discussing something pretty important here.
And remember, during the playoffs, there
Safe.
are four umpires. Safe. All right, so give the stolen base to Elizabeth Craig. She tried to tag her. Again, she came in standing up. And as she tried to brush her with the ball, with her glove, with the ball in her glove, didn't quite get there in time.
And the reason why I knew something was going to happen was because after that conference, usually the umpire will put his fist up and call an out. He didn't do that.
No.
He immediately went to go talk to the O'Connor coach and let him know that something happened, or maybe there was some kind of interference. I don't know. Or
I don't know.
Whatever was decided.
We'll try to find out tonight.
Craig is safe at second.
Yeah. Romy Nunez, by the way, attempted to bunt. Right now the count is 1-1. Again, with no outs, you bunt the runner to third. You could bring her in, Elizabeth Craig, on a sacrifice.
Then I do see Carter at third creeping in a little bit.
Low. From what you remember, does Craig steal a lot?
She's not as aggressive as maybe a Lola Reyes or Alexis Solis, but they will send her.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to send Craig as well. I mean, we all know that the base running capability of the lineup, top to bottom.
She's a talented athlete. Back when she was at Memorial in McAllen before transferring, she was a soccer player. So she's got good footwork if you're playing soccer. 3-0 the count.
3-1 is a count.
3-1, I'm sorry.
At least that's what the scoreboard has.
Yeah, it does. You're right. Guess that's right. She tried to bunt that time. And that is going to be lofted over the shortstop's head. Runner will stay at second.
If you notice, Craig is still at second because she wasn't sure if it was going to be caught or not.
Yeah, it wasn't that far over the shortstop.
Sure.
Shortstop at least faked like she could make a play, and I don't think she really faked it. She couldn't turn around fast enough to try to get it.
And
frankly,
the other thing, Scott, is that.
All right, hold on. I want to get the courtesy runner.
Yeah, it's Sosa.
Yeah, Sosa coming in for Nunez. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say that we know the high IQ of O'Connor and the strong arms that they have all around the field there. And Craig just didn't want to take a chance in risking trying to go to third base, even after she knew the ball was going to fall for a base hit there.
So there's going to be a discussion. Not sure if they're going to have a pitching change. I don't think so. But they do want to talk it over. I'm sure Coach Lowe wants to make sure they're focused and say, regardless of the score,
treat it like it's 0-0.
Yeah, 0. Yeah, we don't want this to turn out to be what do they call it when you
a rally or
when you stop the game because the team has scored enough runs. You know what I'm saying? Like the game only goes 5 innings.
Right.
What do they call that?
Right. Well, what would happen is if the Lady Panthers of Weslaco can score 5 more innings, then the game is over.
Yeah.
That 10-run rule.
Yeah, 10-run rule. That's what I was talking about.
Goes into effect now.
Yeah, we don't want to see a 10-run
rule.
They don't. Low meaning.
That's actually a very good point because with 2 base runners on, and then you have a hitter like Lexi Escamilla that can really get a hold of one and do some major damage here. This could go from 5-0 to 8-0 quick.
Real quick. And you used a word earlier today about Weslaco, respect. I'll use a word I'm sure Coach Lowe would not mind me using. They have pride.
Sure.
They don't want the 10-run rule to come in effect in the third round of the playoffs.
That's a great point there.
I think that's what she was telling her, especially a young pitcher, or at least an inexperienced pitcher at this level of competition. Square, so the bunt goes back.
And if you're Weslaco, you're saying, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. By the way, Lexi Escamilla at bat. We didn't mention that already. There's so much going on. We want to give her props.
Sure. And she doubled and scored in the second inning.
Big. Some of the players have struggled a little bit, all stepping up tonight. Mia Rodriguez, Lexi Escamilla. It's good to see.
Absolutely.
That's a strike.
Nelson catches a high outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes on the batter.
0-2 is the count. So maybe the pep talk did some good from Coach Lowe.
For the video.
No, I'm talking about for her pitcher getting 2 strikes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but you're right. The video that we talked about earlier did good for Lexi, I believe. You're right about that. And that's tapped to third. Can they beat it? Yes, they did get her 5-3. So good job by Carter getting the ball down to first. Now we have runners at second and third. But we have the out. First out.
And you see Lexi talking to Galvan here as she's coming up to bat now.
Yeah.
Just letting her know, because as we mentioned, it's a new pitcher out there, so I think she's just letting her know this is what she's throwing, this is what I saw, keep an eye on it, this is probably what she'll throw to you.
So Craig is at third, 1 out. Remember, a sacrifice fly, a ground ball could bring her in. And now I want to add something, Mike, that you've been saying. Am I not right in saying that Weslaco's had runners on base in all 5 innings?
All 5 innings, yeah. So
and
they've
scored
been
in 4 out of the 5.
Right.
No, 3 out of the 5 so far.
Right.
And they may score in this one, but they've scored in 3 of the 5 innings, but have had runners on in all 5 innings.
So last night they had a total of, let's see here, 6, 8. They've had a total of 7 hits, I think. Mm-hmm. And tonight already, we're here in the 5th, already have 8 hits. So they've already out hit what they did yesterday.
Surpassed their total.
They passed their total, scored 4 runs.
Yes.
And right now they have 5.
Okay, so surpassed both totals from last night.
Absolutely.
Good point. Fouled off. No, catcher
Strike.
held on to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. The girls 4-6A softball regional quarterfinal from Robstown, live on YouTube via KWES. That's a called strike, 2-2.
You got the inside corner there.
And am I correct? Sosa's on second. Am I correct on that? Or I'm trying to. We put all these courtesy runners, and I want to make. I know we have Craig on third.
Yes. I believe that's who it is.
Okay.
Number 6.
Want to show love to all the girls.
Yeah. Now that I see her number there, I just wanted to double check.
Sure, yeah.
I know I saw her earlier coming, but I just want to double check. It is Sosa at second.
All right. Full count, 3-2. First base is open, though, so.
First base is open, but if Galvan could draw a walk, then you got the top of the lineup.
Okay. Here's the pitch. And it is going to be a walk. So Galvan gets on. She came in for Hinosa earlier, if I remember.
Correct.
And coming up.
This is where things get fun, Scott, because we talked about how dangerous Lola is with base runners on.
Yes.
Well, the bases are loaded here with only 1 out.
Lola Reyes.
You already see the third baseman between third and home, halfway, playing in.
1 for 3, slap hitter is going to be in foul territory.
Nice.
And it was a catch, but the runner will come in. Elizabeth Craig comes in from third. Lola Reyes flies out in foul territory, F7, but the runner tags up. Elizabeth Craig and scores. So give Reyes an RBI, and again a fly out.
Yeah, sacrifice fly.
Yeah, sacrifice fly.
But it was caught on foul territory.
Right.
The runner could still advance, and that's what Craig did. So give her credit, give her heads up base running there.
So Alexis Solis is up right now. She's scored twice tonight. She's had a nice evening. And again, Weslaco, 6-0. So now they've scored in 5 of the 6 innings. They've been consistent, getting runners on and scoring. Each inning, each half inning, they're up. High, 2-0.
And the runners, we saw Craig score, but we still have runners at first and second.
Yep, Karina pitching. So 3 pitchers have been used in this series so far in 2 games for O'Connor. That's a called strike. Maybe that was her best pitch of the night.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That was a very hittable pitch right there. But Alexis is just staying patient, taking the pitches, making her work. And we've seen that throughout the night from all the hitters.
That is going to go down the right field line. Hits the line. It's a fair ball. At least 2 runs will score. That is going to be at least a double. And Solis going to third. She'll get an easy. She slides, but no play on her. And so 2 runners come in, and Weslaco is now ahead 8-0. And remember, we talked about that 10-run rule. We'll see if we approach that tonight. And again, Solis came in, and so did Galvan.
And once again, 2 outs. Scott, 2 out hitting has been the story here in Game 2. And Solis delivers. You mentioned.
Could you look at her stats for tonight?
Well, she has a walk and scored in the first. She doubled in the second. And then she singled and scored in the fourth. And now an RBI triple here in the fifth.
2 RBIs right on that.
Correct.
So she has 3 hits and 1 walk. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So she's got on base every time tonight.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And that was a 2-0 pitch that she got and went the opposite way there.
Right.
And if you saw Coach Hinojosa there, you know, the first base, just signaling his players to just keep running. And with these hustled, we saw her speed in the Eagle Pass series. Solis running all around the bases, all the way to third base.
Andrea Ortiz up, singled her first time, but has struck out the last 2 times. But again, she's facing a different pitcher this go around, and she's worked the count 2-0. She scored also in that first inning. And that's tapped back to the pitcher, and the pitcher cannot get it. And it will go, though, to the shortstop, and Dominguez throws for the out, so that is the end of the 5th. But in the inning, we had a total of 3 hits, 3 runs, and 1 left on base. We have played 5 complete, and it is Weslaco over O'Connor, 8-0. This is a KWES production, and now one of the key things is obviously you want to stay sharp and stay focused if you're Weslaco, and you don't ever, against a team that's the defending state champions, even if they've got their 3rd-string pitcher in, you don't say it's over. You don't. You got to talk about respect. You got to show them respect. But what you do say, and this is my opinion, is you don't want to do anything stupid, and you really don't want to make sure nobody gets hurt.
Good point there, especially that last part. Nobody gets hurt there because we already shorthanded a little bit with the 1 player out there, but everybody else has really stepped up here in Game 2 here. And Madeline now with an 8-run lead here with 6 outs to go and force a Game 3.
Yeah, and again, we're excited about that. Remember, it went to 3 games. A little different, though, against Eagle Pass. Weslaco won the first, lost the second. This time they lost the first. Appear to being close to maybe winning the second, though we don't want to jinx them. But like I always say, I'm not the one playing on the field, so I don't know how I can jinx someone when I don't have a glove or bat in my hand, or I'm not getting into the circle. But we are at the top of the 6th.
Panthers here in the top half of the 6th inning. Second baseman number 3,
Kaylin Rodriguez at the plate, second baseman. And that is going to be a grounder to the pitcher. Maddie will throw. And it's an out at first base, though it was Mia Rodriguez who came over to cover, so it's 1-4.
Because we saw Craig come in from first base, wanting to make a play there, but Madeline went ahead and got that grounder, and a great job there by Rodriguez, making that rotation from second base to first. So the little things we talk about, Scott, there.
Right.
And that's what they teach you to cover.
Allison Munoz said, look, I've had a softball rolled to me. You want to see one?
Oh, yes.
We'll give it back to whoever it is, but we actually have I don't know if they can see it upstairs, but we actually have a softball.
How did it get here? We have no
I know
idea.
it rolled here.
So somebody threw it, I think.
Yeah. So I will give it back to, obviously, the people that need it, and they're coming over here. So.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm going to tell them I'm having a little fun. We don't get to keep this as a souvenir.
No popcorn, no nachos for us. Okay.
Yeah, I know in some places they give
it was worth a try.
Yeah. All right, but getting back to the game, Munoz is up. She came in. Again, you mentioned earlier, Allison has played a lot this year, although she didn't play in the first game of this series. But so you never know. This is a crazy game. You never know what's going to happen. We had a softball come to us the way I liked, and that one I would not have liked. All right, that's the second time one came right toward my face if we didn't have a screen in front of us.
The only reason why I moved, Scott, was because I'm writing stuff down and writing notes, so I anticipated the ball there. But had I been looking, I probably would have just reacted like,
well, that time,
I have confidence in the net. I know the net's here to protect
Thank
us.
goodness the net's really good. But that's the softball I did get to hold. I'm glad it rolled to me out of the stands or something. It didn't come like over the top of the net down toward my head.
Yeah, we enjoy sitting right here behind home plate. Eventually, we're going to get a souvenir from the hitter and not from somebody rolling the ball to us.
Yeah, I think they knew my fielding abilities, all right? So they rolled me a softball. They didn't make me try to do some athletic play.
Or some grounder backhand play or anything like that.
No, they knew about the extent of my athleticism. And that one, now that was an interesting play, and we're not trying to really get away from the game. But Mike had his bottle of water up right by the net. The foul ball came back toward him and knocked his bottle of water onto the table, and that may be the last day we keep bottles up there.
Well,
Thank goodness the equipment wasn't right there.
You gave me credit for bringing the sunscreen,
yes.
so I'm going to give myself a pat in the back for making sure that bottle of water
was not by the equipment.
Was not only that, but was closed and not open.
Yeah, that would have been a mess. And we thought for sure we wouldn't get wet tonight because the rains would come later, but we almost got wet because of Mike's water bottle. All right, now I got to focus back. See, I'm losing my focus now with this score. I got to get focused.
See, Madeline is still focused in the circle.
More than you and I.
She's in a battle here with O'Connor with a defending state champs. But you and I are losing focus.
Yeah, we're just celebrating a little too early. 1-2 the count. Of course, we'll be ready for tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. But here's the pitch, and it is fouled off. Craig getting near the dugout, hits the roof.
That time Madeline took something off of that pitch, if you notice there, and I think it fooled Munoz, and she was kind of late on that. And luckily for her, she fouled it and stays alive.
Right. And you're also going to have to wait and see, if the girls will do more first ball hitting. Maybe coach said, you never know what she tells them. But again, I think they're going to put more of their emphasis in tomorrow, but we'll see. That's
trying to get the inside corner there. It was a great pitch, though, for a 1-2 count.
Yes.
I liked it.
I do, too.
And Nunez did position herself very, very well, but just didn't sell it to the umpire.
Right. What would you say? They've got their dark uniforms. I'm half colorblind. I think it's what?
Navy blue.
Navy blue, maybe some white and burnt orange. That is going to be a single in right center field. Lola gets it in quickly, so Munoz gets a hit.
For O'Connor, that's its first hit since the second batter of the first inning. That's how dominant Madeline has been up to this point.
And to be honest, and let's be fair, we're very professional, or try to be at least, when we're talking about the young ladies. We do have, I believe, the top of the order about to come up, don't we?
That is correct, the leadoff hitter.
Yeah. So, or is there a change? Well, there's going to be a discussion right now. But no, Savannah's coming up, all right. So Savannah Pope will be coming up. But there's going to be a discussion. And I don't know what he would be talking about. Again, maybe he is talking about focus, even though I think she's been focused. Well, there's got to be something he's talking to her about.
We're
talking about Coach Rodriguez.
With one out here in the sixth, I don't know what he's saying, but I know what I would say.
Okay, let's hear about you.
You are 4 outs away from winning game 2 and forcing a game 3. Yeah. And the other thing is probably don't worry about the runner at first.
Okay,
worry about the hitter.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe both your parts, but I'm saying that second part, that was good insight because I'm just about sure he said that. Because if the runner steals second, sure, it'd be great to get a shutout. Because then you do put the runner in scoring position. But
and the other thing, Scott, is we know how dangerous Pope is.
Yeah.
She did very well last night. And up to this point, she's 0 for 2 up to this point. But,
and by the way,
these girls are tough.
I feel I need to say this. There were some rumors going around, and her name is spelled P-O-P-P, whether it's Pope or Pop. We had our coach ask her personally what she goes by. So she goes by Pope.
She goes by Pope.
I want to make that clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we did check out that there were some rumors going around that maybe she or somebody
this other way or
preferred Pop. I'm going to leave it just at that. But no, she said Pope, and we went right to the source for that.
But you see the third baseman creeping in a little bit, the shortstop creeping in a little bit.
And that's going to be slapped. She's slap hitter. 0-2 the count. So you always want to be ahead of Savannah. She's tough. Does she remind you at all of Lola?
Well, it's a good point. She is
as a hitter, not as a fielder.
Yeah, I mean, she hits from the left side there, and she could, as you saw right now, she could hit the other way, which Lola does very well.
Fakes a bunt, now we'll hit it, and it is going to be perfect. Nobody could get it as far as trying to make a play, and third base came in, got it so that Solis came in and got it so the runner from first wouldn't go to third. But that was the perfect slap hit. It just died over the third base line.
And if you notice, between Madeline, Nunez, and Solis, they're kind of like, who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? And in softball, because it's only 60 feet from home plate to first, you got to react as quick as possible here.
So now again, the top of the order is up. And Mako Dominguez is up, and she's singled and flied out.
So we've seen Madeline Cantu grow up here in the playoffs here. And, now she finds herself in the 6th inning against the defending state champs, against a tough hitter with base runners on.
We talked to Mako yesterday, and she was very nice. We even posted a picture on Facebook. We do try to be fair to the opposition, but again, adjusting to second shortstop. I know she made an error today, but she's done a nice job there, considering that wasn't her position last year. And she's very humble. Again, she talked about, didn't say, I'm now a big star at shortstop. I've really, I really got it down perfectly. No, she says it's still learning the position.
A lot of changes for O'Connor in regards to coaching and players leaving, but
all right, that's going to go to second. Mia will knock it down, can't get to it, and a run will score. Throw to third, and she's safe too. So it's going to be a single. It's an RBI single that time by Dominguez, and is going to score one run. Munoz and Pope, I should say, goes to third, and Dominguez will go to second on the throw. So that is the first run of the game here with one out in the 6th inning. First run of the game for O'Connor, and it's an RBI for Dominguez, who's now 2 for 3 tonight with 1 RBI.
So 3 straight singles, and you mentioned Dominguez advancing to second on that throw to third. But here comes O'Connor here. They're not going to go away.
No, Emily Fish, you talked about her stats earlier. She's a top player.
Top player here, but
first base.
She does have a single in the first inning. She was the one that had the hit, and the only hit coming into this inning. So, she came in with a .425 batting average for the season here, and was 1 for 3 last night. So right now, O'Connor needs for her to get her 3rd hit of the series.
And that is going to be popped into center field. Lola can't get to it, and that will bring in 1 run. So on that single, Pope comes in. Fish gets an RBI, and we see Dominguez goes to third, and Fish will, just like last time, advance to second on the throw.
Yeah, just like last time. That's exactly what happened. There was a throw to home, and that allowed Fish to sneak her way to second.
And Mario Rodriguez out very quickly, calling everybody in.
And I think one of the things he's going to say, Scott, is, guys, we have a lead. We have a pretty good cushion here.
Yeah, no, I can see. Give me 1 second. You can see that he's really being demonstrative.
Because he's doing that because he's telling his players, throw to second base. Don't worry about the runner going to third. Because what happens is that takes away a force out at second. So now there is not a force out, between first and second there. And that's the same thing that happened the last time.
Good point.
But again, it's still 8-2. It's still a comfortable. I don't know if it's the right word here.
Yeah, it is comfortable. But what he was doing to it, I'm adding to what you're saying. It was a teachable moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a young team with only 1 senior.
Right.
I mean, keep that in mind. Lexi Escamilla, the only senior on this team. So it's a situational softball here that he's letting them know that when something like that happens and you have this kind of lead, the best play is to throw to second base. Keep that runner at first.
So 4 consecutive singles after the ground out. That's what I've got here. And I believe Haley Carter's scheduled to come up. And we know how good she is. Long discussion, and I'm not sure. Now the umpires are talking, so I don't know. That you've got me completely what that would be about.
Right. And for Madeline, it's, hey, who cares? You're still 4 outs away.
I do have a legitimate question for you. How many trips can you make to a mound and a half inning? I know it's like only 1 or 2 in Major League Baseball, I think, but how about in softball?
Well, as far as I know, I mean, I haven't seen...
that's a second trip, wasn't it?
I haven't seen a coach come out and then, how can I say this? Maybe the umpire letting them know you cannot come out anymore. If that makes sense.
All right.
Because I haven't seen that yet.
Because I know even Coach Lowe's talking. Right. And that's why I was asking you, because he's come out twice, does he need to change the pitcher? I don't,
Right. Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I have not seen it in softball.
We may try to ask that question to Coach later. Not because that was a factor tonight, but I mean, the coach Coach Lowe talked to the umpire. She's the third base coach, obviously. And now Mario's talking to the umpire again. So, and you wonder, and again, thank goodness that Maddie is acting like a senior instead of a freshman. This long delay could really get into your mind, especially for someone who kind of acts like a freshman still. But you got to take that term away from her.
I mean, if anything, Scott, this allows her to take a few deep breaths.
So you think it's better because of her strong mental state, it's better for her to maybe relax by having this long timeout versus her thinking about it too much?
In my mind, it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
I think that allows her to just kind of give herself thoughts a little bit, think about it a little bit, gather her thoughts, and just kind of relax, take a few deep breaths, and now just focus on the next hitter.
Haley Carter. She struck out and grounded out in this game. And that is going to be lofted out of the park, but foul back near where the pitchers warm up in left field.
Another long strike.
Yeah.
We talked about long strike earlier in the game.
Yeah.
The Carter almost had her, well, not almost, because it was easily foul, but she hit it very, very hard and out of the ballpark. Just foul.
So 0-1 is the count. Very tough hitter. That's a foul ball. Jammed her inside that time.
Yeah, that's where Madeline is attacking her now, is the inside there. Well, I mean, we know what Carter is thinking here, obviously. She's being aggressive at the plate. But, you know, 0-2 in count, so she's got to focus on that. She's ahead of the count. She already has, 6 strikeouts tonight, so this is a great opportunity to see if she can get a big hitter out here.
That's outside. Kind of wasted that pitch to see if she would fish for it.
Didn't bite?
Nope, didn't bite. I know a lot of people like to fish around here, so had to use at least one fishing analogy over the series. Actually, I think you had some seafood for lunch, right?
It was delicious.
Yeah. All right.
Almost got her to chase.
Right.
She thought about it.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to me, I see food, I eat it. So, 2-2 the count. Wish luck to the Weslaco boys, both being able to play their games tomorrow due to the weather in San Antonio against O'Connor, and they have a 1-game lead in the best-of-3 series. They're in the area round, and that is going to be a throw to first, but the first baseman can't hold on to it. The runner gets off the base, but gets back. Do we give that a single to Haley?
Yeah, it was going to be a tough play. It was going to be a close call.
All right. But a run does score. I believe, Fish came in.
I think it was Dominguez that came in. I think Fish is now at third.
All right.
According to my notes.
All right, that's fine. So Fish is at third. Dominguez came in. And the runner, Carter, beats it out for a single.
And all she did was put the ball in play, and Lexi did a great job getting it.
Right.
Was going to be a close play at first.
Yeah. So let's see what we can do with one out.
Yeah, keep an eye on the runner at first. She may try to steal second, and we saw you go past do that where they kind of played with the pitcher a little bit, where they were kind of jogging to second base, knowing that in the situation they can steal the bag, and then the runner at third will try to score from third.
Amia Asso is up, by the way. Again, an RBI for Carter. So 8-3, all 3 runs for the designated visiting team have come, and you can see here their fans have come to life. They did bring their share. 8-3 the score. I guess this game was planned to be, halfway between the 2 schools, right?
Yeah, Corpus is exactly, or in this case, Robstown is exactly halfway.
All right, and that is going to be a force out, but not a double play, and a run scores. So this time, Fish does come in.
She does get an RBI.
Right. And Hasso gets an RBI.
So it's a 4-6.
Yeah, 4-6 force out, right? And Dominguez is out, right? Or who is out? I'm sorry. Carter's out
at second.
All right.
But that's the point we were making earlier. Yeah. This is the result of it. And let's give credit to, first of all, Amaya for putting the ball in play. But heads up play by Mia, throwing to Escamilla at second and getting that out there. So that's the most important thing is getting those
and
outs.
How many hits have there been? 4 consecutive? Am I correct on that?
4. It was 4.
4 consecutive hits after the first out.
After the first out.
4 consecutive singles, right? So it's 8-4 now. We've got that, and Trinity Lunsford is up. She's flied out and grounded out. 8-4 is the score. I guess the one thing that you don't want to get overconfident as a Weslaco fan, and I'll tell you why. Remember, they've scored at least 4 runs in this half inning. That's halfway to tying the game, and they still come to bat one more time.
Right.
So if they got 4 more runs in the next half inning and Weslaco doesn't score in the bottom of the 6th, it'd be tied up. And I say this as a focus point for the team.
Yeah, and that is a great point there. And another thing.
So an 8-0 lead in a few minutes has already been cut in half.
Right.
That's why you can never get overconfident. And this may be an important thing for Weslaco tomorrow if they play, because they can see how fast a lead can diminish. Yeah, to vanish. 1-2 the count. I mean, their fans have come to life now. The fans of O'Connor. You've brought them back into the game. You've heard that a lot of times in football, but it's true here in softball.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fans have been brought back into the game. 2-2 is the count. And again, I'd like to see a strike right now. And there is one. Called it and it happened. So a strikeout to end the inning, but in the inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, I believe 1 left on base. And we have now played 5.5 innings. Weslaco 8, 4 for, well, was it maybe, he calls one error, but I'm going to say they were all hits. So we're going to stick with what we have. But now after 5.5 innings, it's 8-4, Weslaco over O'Connor. I was talking about the PA announcer. So we all have our own ideas of what's an error or not.
So for Madeline, that was her 7th strikeout of the night.
Right.
That was her biggest one.
Yeah,
Got out of that inning, did allow 4 runs, but hey,
I wonder,
they still have a 4-run lead.
I know you don't have the stat right there because you haven't seen every game, but if we get a chance to talk to Madeline tomorrow, we may not. It'd be interesting to see what her high for the season is in strikeouts.
Good point.
But
that is a good point.
She's never had strikeouts at this level of 7. And now we got to look at the Weslaco players coming out with the Panther head and the unicorn head and no pro wrestler.
And we see Elizabeth Craig's mom here dancing in front of the fans here.
That's right. So,
wow, that was a very exciting.
Maybe our fans would win a dance-off against O'Connor's too, right?
One before this is over, right? Oh, wow. But that was a very exciting half inning there.
Oh, you got to give O'Connor credit. Now, I want to get real serious for a moment.
Yeah.
And they're coming out and getting their fans going. Now the wrestler has a sombrero on.
Yeah. But that right there, Scott, is a prime example of the heart of a champion right there.
You're right. Now, I want to say this, you said the heart of a champion, right? But it also shows maybe what a good choice they made getting Coach Lowe to come in as their new head coach, replacing a coach that retired after winning a state championship. Here she comes in. We saw her talking with her players. They're down 8-0 later part of the game, even if put in their third-string pitcher, but they've never given up. Keep in mind, just because they put in the third-string pitcher, they still said we are going to get out there and try to make a game of this, and they definitely have. They kept their fans in it. So our respect, you used that word a couple times tonight, our respect to O'Connor High School. And now we are going to the bottom of the 6th, maybe, fingers crossed, the last time that the Panthers will have to come to the plate. And Mia Rodriguez is coming up right now. Mia, of course, getting things together in this game. And again, we're glad to see that.
And we have a time called here. I just want to see. I'm looking at the pitcher, Scott, there, and it looks like it's number 9. Number 8 was the pitcher in the 5th inning, correct?
Let me look.
Because
8 is Munoz. Is that
okay? She was the pitcher in the last inning, correct?
Let me just double check here for a second because there's a lot of changes here.
Right, we have a bunch of notes and written down, but I believe that's who it was. But let's see, we're going to have a defensive change too.
All right.
Number 17 will now play left field.
All right. So 17 is Araceli Alonso, who started yesterday. And she comes in left field. And she will be the replacement there. So we are checking on the pitching situation. Okay, yeah, Karina Felsing was the pitcher. Okay, Karina Felsing, number 6 was the pitcher. Is that still 6?
No, that's number 9 now.
9. Okay, so 9, I am going to have to check on that.
I have number 9 as Ella de Luna.
Ella de Luna?
Freshman. And I think we saw her in the outfield yesterday. Right. I believe we saw her in the outfield. I'm going to check my notes real quick.
All right. Ella de Luna, again, a pitcher and an outfielder. That's what she's listed.
Yesterday, she was a designated player.
No, Ella Luna is that great hitter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And she started the game in the outfield tonight.
Okay.
She started in left field and then got replaced early or some point.
Yes.
So de Luna was the starting left fielder tonight. And a great hitter. I think she was their top hitter by average coming into this series. Now she comes into pitch. So we got that all straightened out. So she'll be the 4th pitcher of the night. Again, Talia Reyes started things off. And then we had Tivia Martinez come in. Tiv Martinez come in. And now we have our 4th pitcher. So, a lot of lineup changes, 2-2 the count. Mia again at bat. And, of course, Karina Felsing, as we mentioned, was a 3rd pitcher.
Yeah, and it's a little tricky because you go from a 6 to a 9, and the way those numbers are embroidered in their uniform, it's hard to tell sometimes.
Full count for Mia, though. We got that straight. And that's going to be a called strike 3. So first out of the inning, Mia Rodriguez. Montalongo is next, Hannah Montalongo, and scheduled to bat is Elizabeth Craig. But we see now, maybe we're going to have a pitch hitter because...
Number 30.
Yeah.
That's who I see.
All right, number 30 is coming in. Good chance to let everybody come in, maybe, and get a chance to play. And number 30 is Miranda Pantaleon. Mm-hmm. She's a junior, plays first base and third base. She's been in the series, I believe. I think I remember. At least she was in the last series.
We've seen her play.
Yeah, we've seen all these courtesy runners. So, let's see how she does. We do know that, again, they have some depth in pitchers. There's a lot they are willing to use. We're talking about O'Connor. I think you said you once saw a game maybe with 7 pitchers, something like that.
That actually happened a few weeks ago.
But I think
in baseball.
Yeah, in baseball. But I think in softball the other time, in that game, maybe it was the last game with Eagle Pass, they switched pitchers back and forth. The number 1 and 2 pitcher about 7 times. At least it seemed that way.
Yeah, that was actually something new to me, Scott. I had never seen that before.
All right.
But it was some battle in that game 3.
But we do not want to underestimate DeLuna coming in or being pulled. She is a great hitter. She's been a DP. She is one of the top players on this team. I want to make that clear as a hitter. So maybe hasn't pitched that often because we know Reyes is 16-1. But DeLuna, again, started yesterday as a DP. And for people to know, she's just a freshman, okay? I want to make that clear. She's just a freshman. Catcher gets a pat on the head by her coach as they get the foul ball. Can you almost smell the rain in the air a little bit now?
I smell the air.
I've been through so much rain. I used to live in some hurricane zones. So, all right, that's going to be a swinging strike. So 2 strikeouts for this pitcher. And Elizabeth Craig is scheduled, and yes, she will come up.
That has to put a smile on Coach Lowe's face there, knowing the fact that, hey, I'm bringing in a different pitcher here, and she's delivered 2 strikeouts. here in the 6th inning. It is a long series. I mean, it's just something worth note and keep an eye on and say we have a game 3 where maybe she can trust a player like her to come in a tough situation.
Mel DeLuna's only a freshman, but again, her experience as a hitter makes her, a clutch player, regardless of how much she's on the circle or in the circle. And that is going to be right to the shortstop. Dominguez catches the soft pop, and that is the end of the inning. So in that inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We are going now to the top of the 7th, seeing if Weslaco can shut it out. Right now, over O'Connor, they have an 8-4 lead. This is a KWES production. Okay, looking out there, O'Connor, they are rallying around Coach Lowe. They definitely are focused. They definitely have not given up. And they're all out right now cheering on their fans.
So it's basically happening, Scott, is you can kind of sense on O'Connor getting some momentum.
Right.
I mean, win, lose, or draw, if say they do drop game 2,
right,
they have to feel pretty good going into game 3.
Okay. Now, I do want to run over a couple things here. If O'Connor loses tonight, this will be their only 6th loss of the year, 26-6. Lady Panthers will improve to 25-14. They were 7-3 in district. O'Connor, by the way, was 14-2 in district. Both these teams spent some time in Houston early in the season, getting experience against those big Houston teams. That's a commonality between these. So I do want to mention this. Weslaco is 32-6A, and San Antonio O'Connor is 29-6A. And I want to thank our gentlemen upstairs for doing a great job tonight. Val Zamora as our videographer, and Adrian De Leon is streaming the game, kind of producing it tonight. Appreciate your hard work. And it looks like we're going to be heading to a game 3, but not sure thing, because remember, the last half inning that they were up, we saw O'Connor score 4 runs. So we are going now into the top of the 7th. Weslaco leading 8-4, and O'Connor talking to the umpire at home plate. 2 from the Rio Grande Valley, 2 from San Antonio, just like it was in the Eagle Pass series. And we'll see who's coming to the plate.
It's going to be a pinch hitter.
Is it?
And Araceli Alonso, we saw her yesterday.
Oh, yeah, she started yesterday.
And
she came in the field, I think in the left field, as a defensive replacement last half inning.
Right. We actually were talking a little bit to Coach before the game. We asked her about Alonso because we didn't have...
Yeah, you did. I remember that.
Because we didn't have... that's a foul tip there. We didn't have any statistics on her or anything.
And didn't she say she played a lot of JV?
The reason being is that she spent most of the season at the JV level and did very, very well and came in at the late part of the season and has been part of the roster during the playoffs and has delivered some big hits. And she was actually talking about a critical one earlier in the playoffs. I don't remember. It might have been San Antonio Clark, I think, that she came through with a big RBI single.
All right.
But she's here pinch hitting. And let me see if I can get my notes here real quick and see how she did yesterday.
Yeah.
She was 0 for 3.
All right.
Did hit the ball hard in the 4th inning and lined hard to right field.
Okay. Here's the pitch.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a strike. I didn't want to call it because it's not right. But it looked like a perfect pitch hitting the lower part of the strike zone.
Yeah, I think that was an off-speed pitch and got the opposite side, the corner there.
Yeah.
And in 3 pitches, Madeline got Alonso out. Great start to the 7th.
So Kaylin Rodriguez, I believe, is up now. Let's double check. They've done a lot of switching here, so we want to make sure we call the right players. Yes, it is.
It's actually number 3. Yeah, you're right. It's the same hitter.
Yeah, she is struck out tonight, and I believe also grounded out. So 2 outs away from a victory for Maddie. And in the playoffs, that would make her 5-2, I believe, if she wins this game in the postseason.
That is correct. Got the outside corner again.
Again, we're scheduled for a 2 o'clock start here. We hope that we can bring it to you at 2. Again, we're not sure about the weather. Not looking good right now, but Anything can happen. That's a ball, 1 and 2.
You saw Nunez stick to the outside part there.
Yeah.
He's trying to get that outside corner.
Again, Weslaco fans just want to see this get over. That's outside, 2 and 2. Move on.
Nunez really wanted that last pitch there. Held that ball as much as she could.
2 and 2. Big swinging strikeout. What's that, like number 8?
That is strikeout number 8 for Madeline Cantu. One more out.
Right. One more out, and this game is over.
Rodriguez goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. Brings to the plate, number 8, Allison Munoz.
Allison Munoz is now up. So, 1 out away from victory. 8 strikeouts for Maddie. And that's going to be fouled off.
It's number 9.
Number 9? Okay, thank you.
Was the pitcher.
Well, that's cool. You know why? I'll tell you. If she gets this strikeout, she's in double digits. That would be exciting.
And it was the pitcher that pitched the 6th inning, which is Ella De Luna.
Right. Well, just want to get this one over.
Yeah, that's an excellent point because if she gets on base, then you got the top of the lineup, and we saw what they did in the 6th inning.
And that is going to be a grounder past Mia at second. So the runner's on.
Well, here we go.
Savannah Pope is up, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So Pope is up, and she singled, I know, and scored. Maybe even got an RBI last time. I'm not sure. There was a lot that went on in that inning.
Well, if you remember, Scott, there was 4 consecutive singles. So Munoz got a single, and then Pope singled. And then after that, we had a couple more singles, and that's where the scoring started after that.
I got you. Good point. Pope fakes a bunt, pulls back.
And remember, there's a force out at second if needed with a runner at first. So you have an option to get an out either at second or at first.
In that Elite 8, was that a best of 3 when they played?
That is correct.
Now, how many games did it go?
2.
2, all right. So they want to get a win now. That is going to be a grounder and no chance of a play. So, again, third baseman comes in. And again, Solis thinks better of trying to make a throw. And we'll see one runner go to second. And Pope is on with a bunt single. And the very dangerous Miko Dominguez is up. One of those one of those batters that had the 4 consecutive hits. Didn't she get an RBI when she was up?
She got the first RBI for O'Connor.
We're talking the last half inning.
Yeah.
We mentioned this. Remember, there was 1 out, and then O'Connor scored 4 runs. So they're dangerous. They can score in bunches, as we saw. And remember, against Los Fresnos, okay? It's very important I say this. They scored, I believe, 3 in the 6th and 4 in the 7th to come back and have a 7-6 win.
Yeah, it was a big comeback.
Yeah, they're clutch in late innings. That, remember, was in the area playoffs. We're not talking about some early game in the season. So we have to keep our eyes on this team and keep focused till the very last out.
So here we go.
A little bit low. And I guess Romy had a question about something to do with nothing that would get her in trouble, but Romy, I guess Romy's really nice. She gets to talk to the umpires and they don't get mad, right? Everybody likes Romy. So it's 2-0, 2 outs, runners at first and second, and that is going to drop into right field for a hit. A run will score, and 1 run will go to third, and that ball hits the wall, which will get the runner advanced to second. So an RBI single for Dominguez. And coming in, I'm trying to, was it Rodriguez that came in?
It was Munoz.
Munoz that came in, all right. And now we have Pope on third, I believe, right? And Dominguez on second.
Yeah, Pope is at third now. And then Dominguez,
yeah,
I believe, went to second. Yeah, she
went to second on the throw. The throw is they threw it in, hit the wall, and caromed off it. And now we have the time run at the plate.
Right.
All right.
Here we go.
Yep. And that's going to be popped up. And the first baseman's going to get it. And Elizabeth Craig makes the third out of the inning. The game is over. Amazing. Emily Fish, a very tough batter, pops out. And it is a win for the Panthers in Game 2 of this best-of-3 series. After losing last night 5-4 in Game 1, they win 8-5. Game 3 is scheduled for 2 o'clock tomorrow. Again, it's scheduled to be here at Robstown between these two teams. Mike, any final comments?
Well, I just want to give a shout-out to Madeline there. That was a great pitch to a tough hitter in Fish. I think Fish was expecting something else and got her to pop up, and grateful for Craig for coming down with that big out. And Lady Panthers of Weslaco held on and forced a Game 3.
All right, so we are scheduled to be here tomorrow at 2, weather permitting, for the deciding Game 3. And for Val Zamora, our videographer, also for Adrian DeLeon, who's our streamer, streaming the broadcast on YouTube, and Mike Gonzalez, my analyst. I'm Scott Harrison, saying so long from Robstown. Once again, it is the Weslaco Lady Panthers over the O'Connor Lady Panthers, 8-5 in Game 2 of the best-of-3 series in the third round of the state high school softball playoffs. Have a good night. Be careful, especially with this weather, and we'll hope to talk to you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.